Huh?
Good point, Joseph.
Oh, what is that?
That's my wife.
Dave O. Russell gets the Clooney kiss of death. Clooney says indie films are a thing of the past. And George Clooney has some words for Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call. Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Howdy, classmates. Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Rootin' Tootin' Tyler.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm what's
Slippery
a good,
Pete.
I'm Pistol,
Pistol Pete.
Whiskey Pete.
We have a great show for you.
Outrageous Tyler.
Boy, you sure are outrageous.
Oh, this long
Tyler,
drop. You're outrageous.
Thank you. We have a great show for you today. Welcome everyone on YouTube, live and otherwise, and of course the OG classmates listening in the podcast land, wherever you're listening to your podcast.
Tyler, are you excited to be posting again?
It's been too long.
Clearly.
Oh, is that why with all the with all the energy? That's why
Right.
you're very excited.
It's been too long.
Pent up.
It's
He's been
too long.
edged to death.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been on the edge for. It's been like almost 5 months.
This is perverted. This is creepy.
Been edging the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, like I haven't came in like 5 months.
This
so.
is and this episode is one glorious explosion for Tyler.
Right. Yeah. But it's great to be back in the studio, and it's great to be hosting again for
The third time.
yeah.
Ever.
So us in Sacramento, any of our listeners in Sacramento, we are experiencing False Fall.
False fall.
False fall. Because it feels like fall, but it's not. It's going to get hot again.
Well, it feels like Sacramento fall. It's still like 85 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay.
Tyler showed up in a jean jacket today.
Well, I mean, we'll get into that when we get into the movie
A jean
review.
jacket, 85 degrees.
Yeah, that's
Long
the
pants.
that's the dedication I have to the show.
And we're recording. We're doing this on a Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
For like on the rare occasion that we do, because we always do it on Saturdays.
Right?
And
Yeah.
so like I had a free Saturday.
What'd you do with it?
I was about to ask you guys. I mean, I know what you did.
Yeah, I was at the
we all know. Everybody here knows.
Baseball game.
Yeah, he went to a
I was
Pete,
at the baseball game.
yeah, Pete went to a ball game. What did you do, Joseph?
So I went out to like a swimming hole up in like Auburn, Colfax area.
Was it Yankee Gyms?
I don't know what it was called.
Forest Hill?
No,
No,
I have no idea what the name of it is.
Okay. You sure it wasn't Yankee Gyms?
It could have been. It might have been, but it was a true swimming hole. Like it was a big, like tiny lake that you could jump into. There were big rocks everywhere.
Oh, cool.
It was cool.
Is that like the TikTok sort of like thing, like where people like find these like
That's real
tranquil?
life, Tyler. It's called real life. Go
Let me.
into the...
Can I finish?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Finish the bit.
What bit?
this like
There's no
TikTok?
bit. No, it's like there's like one TikToker will film like a tranquil swimming hole, like you just described, Joseph.
Yeah.
And then everyone will just flock to that.
Oh, like
swimming
there's no
hole.
secrets anymore.
Yeah.
Because of social media.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of people there.
Yeah.
The water.
I
I mean, it wasn't the best day to go because it was only 85 degrees. The water was freezing.
Yeah.
Really
yeah.
cold.
I mean, that's snow melt there.
freezing. It
That's-
would have been nice if it was 110 degrees outside.
Yeah.
But
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
but
I got burnt just in the 75 degrees in the Bay Area in Oakland.
You
yeah.
got burnt?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But like I was there, it was like the middle of the day, normal time we would be recording, and I'm here experiencing what it's like on Saturday afternoons. And I totally forgot that it was like I got home, had showered, was like just chilling at home, eating leftover pizza, and it was like 9:30.
Oh my God. That sounds like heaven.
And then I was like, oh, fuck, I got to do the podcast tomorrow. Happy to be here, but just that small realization, I was like,
I got homework tomorrow.
shit, because I was like in my brain, I was like, I got a free day tomorrow. I got nothing
Yeah.
to do. And then I realized,
yeah.
Well, I have a wedding to go to after this.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
do you really?
Yeah.
You have to go to
I have a jam-packed weekend.
Oh.
Woke up, I was out of my house by 9 a.m., went to the ball game in the Bay Area. Didn't get home until 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we tailgated for like 5 hours. And then I woke up this morning.
That's a long time to tailgate. 5 hours?
Yeah, it's more
At
important
a
than the game.
baseball game? Like, I could understand if it was pro football, but like baseball game, that's.
What's the differentiation? What's the distinction? Why is one better to tailgate than the other?
I'm not saying that one is better than the other. It's just like you
I
don't
could
really
understand
hear about
if it was racquetball, but baseball.
As a staunch not baseball fan that I am, I would probably enjoy that part of it more
Yeah.
than that game.
Oh yeah, you don't like baseball.
No, I don't.
It was the last battle of the Bay. And for those not in Northern California, the A's, Oakland Athletics play the San Francisco Giants once or twice a year, depending on the year. Mostly, I think it's just once. And they call it the Battle of the Bay. And it's
Battle of the Bay.
Yeah, interdivision. They usually don't play each other.
Yeah.
And we've gone as a family for like 28 years, and this is the last year the A's are going to be at the Coliseum, most likely. So,
Like before they come up here for a little bit.
yeah, I said, yeah, next year we can come to my house, tailgate in my front yard, and we'll take a party bus out there together. It's only
Out
20 minutes.
If the Athletics came to Sacramento as a professional baseball team, like I would love that. I would love that.
I would hate that.
Why?
Traffic.
Nah, it's around the edge of town.
There's traffic everywhere, Joseph. It's fine.
And it would be worse. It would be worse. It's already bad that like I have to drive through the city when the Kings are playing during the Kings season.
Well, they put that arena right in the middle of the fucking town.
I know. I don't understand that either.
Like they're talking about building the new Coliseum for the A's in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They're gonna like demolish the Tropicana and build it there. It's like
Not the
put
Tropicana.
Put it on the edge of town or something. Don't put it at the crossroads of like where the Luxor is.
I know, it
It's
doesn't-
such a bad idea.
I think they're
Yeah.
thinking about the foot traffic. What I did with my Saturday is I not a whole lot.
Practice the intro for this episode.
I know. I got it so right just before we started
In your-
recording.
yeah.
As soon as the cameras,
and then as
you saw
soon
that
as we
blue
start
light blinking.
then as soon as we started rolling, I was just like, Brain snap.
Just, howdy, y'all.
Well, that one was planned.
Oh, okay.
I'm
gonna say howdy.
That was actually requested by a fan. So
okay.
I had to fulfill that request.
What's her name?
Don't worry about it. How about that?
I think I know.
Does
her
she
name
make you
is.
wear a cowboy hat?
In some ways.
And she says meow. Are we talking about movies or what's
There's
happening?
my
What's
little
happening here?
cat woman.
Well, no, yeah, we are going to talk about movies, but more specifically, we're going to talk about movie news.
A tier trans.
Find
S
some
tier.
turkey, you lad. Now's the time for Gab Chatter.
What does the
Movie-
S and S tier mean?
Super.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that really? Okay, so, well, movie news, movie discussions,
Yes.
what have you. Joseph, what do you have for
Oh,
us
me
today?
first. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm not used to.
I know it's been weird. It's been a weird time.
I know. It's been a long time.
So I have a news story, a story time news story.
Okay.
About director David O. Russell, who's directed. Did he do American Hustle? He did that movie.
Yep. And he did The Fighter, I believe, and he did
Most recently, Amsterdam.
yes, Amsterdam. He did I Heart Huckabees.
Yes.
Silver Linings Playbook.
So he directed a movie called in 1999. He directed a movie called Three Kings, starring one George Clooney
in Cube.
and Ice Cube, the Ice Cube, and Mark Wahlberg.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never seen it. And apparently there was some turmoil between George Clooney and David O. Russell on the making of that movie.
Really?
David O. Russell apparently was not easy to work with, and in one incident involving George Clooney, David O. Russell was yelling or berating some extras, and George Clooney didn't appreciate that, didn't like that, and so
He's a man of the people.
so they got into an altercation, a physical,
Really?
A physical.
an infamous fight.
Wow, cool.
And this news story coming from IndieWire, headline is, "I don't want to work with a miserable fuck like David O. Russell ever again," says George Clooney.
This was recent that he said that? Or was it like just...
Let me get through the article because it gets kind of muddy a little bit. So the older you get, this is a quote, "The older you get, time allotment is very different. 5 months out of your life is a lot," Clooney said on how he selects projects now. And so it's not just like, oh, I'm going to do a really good film like Three Kings and I'm going to have a miserable fuck like David O. Russell making my life hell, making every person in the crew's life hell. It's not worth it. Not at this point in my life. It just to have all that just to have a good product is not worth it. Not worth the conflict.
Sure.
And in 2012, Clooney tried to bury the hatchet with David O. Russell. I saw David a few weeks ago at a party, and I felt compelled to go over and go, "So are we done?" And he goes, "Please." And I said, "Okay." Like, please, we can be done.
Yeah, please.
Clooney said.
Please.
Clooney said at that time, "We made a really, really great film. We had a really, really tough time together, but it's a case of us both getting older. I really do appreciate the work he continues to do, and I think he appreciates what I'm trying to do. Yet his experience with Russell is far from the first issue with the director that has been made public." David O. Russell apparently has verbally abused Lily Tomlin on the set of I Heart Huckabees in a viral video,
I've seen that before.
and also has been a controversial figure given his unorthodox directing style. While promoting Russell's Amsterdam, Margot Robbie revealed that Russell refused to call cut and extended the crew's work hours during production. So I guess
It's like an asshole.
so it sounds like David Russell is a little hard to work with.
Yeah.
Kind of a, I don't know, drama queen's the right word, but
I mean,
I think it's more than that.
I think for a star to actually like come out and say, to go into the defense for like extras being yelled at, verbally abused, it had to have been really bad.
Well, I have a timeline from Vulture that did put together of all the controversy surrounding David O. Russell. I'm gonna read a couple select inserts. So the first one is from the year 2000 when Clooney first talked about how David O. Russell was treating people on set, and he says he screamed at people all day from day one on the set of Three Kings. He publicly embarrassed camera car drivers and reduced a script supervisor to tears on a regular basis.
Jeez.
He elaborates on that. And then in 2003, David O. Russell physically attacks Christopher Nolan at a Hollywood party. The director reportedly wanted Jude Law to star in I Heart Huckabees, but heard that Law decided to take a role in one of Nolan's movies instead. Times reports that the party guests watched on as Russell put Nolan in a headlock and wrapped his arm around the fellow director's neck.
What the fuck?
He allegedly demanded that Nolan give up on his star to show artistic solidarity. Jude Law remained in the Heart Huckabees cast. What the fuck? 2003, that's the Lily Tomlin video was leaked on the set of I Heart Huckabees. I've watched it. It's pretty bad.
He
It's
is
bad.
being very mean.
Yes. It's like him and her and Dustin Hoffman. Lily Tomlin and Dustin Hoffman are doing a scene together, and
he's
she
just
breaks
laying
down and it's just like cussing him out about how much of a cunt he's being to everybody.
Oh my god.
2011, speaking at South by Southwest, Paul Rubens alleges that Russell screamed at him at the top of his lungs on the first day working on Nailed, the Jake Gyllenhaal-led movie shot in 2008, and was later released under the title Accidental Love in 2005. Rubens claimed that he doesn't know what caused the director to start cursing and screaming at him on the first take. I didn't think it was reality-based, he said with a laugh. And it goes on. Just an incident in 2012, incident in 2014, incident in 2015, 2016, 2020, 21, 2022, and the list goes on.
So David O. Russell seems like
He's got a track record.
Yeah.
I mean,
he admitted
what's
to
it-
touching his niece's breasts because she was being provocative and seductive.
Wait a minute. What?
Okay.
Is that a punishment? Like, what?
Wow, I don't know. I've heard nothing but terrible things about him, which is
But I mean, I guess he's making studios money, so he's getting work. So I don't know. I don't understand show business.
Hey, you guys want to
Like,
watch Amsterdam after this?
Okay.
I don't know if I want to watch it in general.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. So George Clooney just is confirmed a man of the people.
Yeah,
Like
that's right.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, like if it was
fights
if
for the little
view-
man.
if
He got arrested for participating in like a protest in some other country, and his wife is in politics, I think.
Yeah, I love her name.
Yeah.
Amal Alamalim.
Yeah.
Amal Alamanum.
So he's
Close.
he's definitely like in that world of
Yeah.
woke,
George Clooney is no longer a movie star because of woke.
and he doesn't do that much work recently. Like he's
Doesn't he have a tequila?
Well, that actually parlays right into my news story.
you have a
I have
Clooney focused?
I also have a Clooney centric. I mean, you may not have been able to tell from that intro, but
Yeah, we're all Clooney
we're
up
all
in here.
Clooneyed up today. So yeah,
We should get him on the show.
Yeah, you want
Clooney?
you want me to go into mine,
Yeah,
Tyler?
Please.
captain of the show.
I said please.
Okay, great, wonderful. There we go. I set you up for the lob.
Please, Pete. What do you have for us today? That's George Clooney related.
Okay, so there was recently an interview with George Clooney, and he was talking about a previous instance with Quentin Tarantino. And there was an interview with GQ to mark the upcoming Apple TV movie Wolves. Clooney revealed that he was irritated with Tarantino, the former co-star and director of Pulp Fiction. So they starred in From Dusk Till Dawn together. They played brothers.
oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
And which I always thought was funny.
yeah.
And
Look nothing alike.
And there was an interview that Tarantino did with Deadline last year where they were in some line of questioning. They asked about movie stars, and they're like, what kind of? Oh, there's a lot of movie stars out right now, or the movie stars are dying. And someone asked him, what about Clooney? And he said, well, it's been a long while since I think George Clooney's drawn anybody to an audience. When was the last time he had a hit in this millennium? And he does not consider him a movie star.
Oh my god.
So Clooney was asked by GQ if he felt competitive with Brad Pitt about the fact that Pitt had appeared in Tarantino's movies recently, including Inglourious Basterds and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And Clooney replied, well, Quentin said some shit about me recently, so I'm a little irritated by him. He did some interview where he was naming movie stars, and he was talking about you and someone else. He was sitting next to Brad Pitt. And this guy goes, well, what about George? And he says, well, he's not a movie star. And then he literally said something like, name a movie from this millennium, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, since this millennium, that's kind of my whole fucking career. He added, so now I'm like, right, dude, fuck off. I don't mind giving him shit since he gave me shit. So I decided to read from George Clooney's career from this millennium.
Oh yeah, his filmography.
His filmography.
Okay.
Yeah, so we start with I'm only going to read the big ones. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? Mm-hmm. That's a banger.
Yeah.
The Perfect Storm. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Spy Kids.
That's right.
He was in that?
God, yeah. With Antonio Banderas.
Everybody
too.
was in Spy Kids, apparently. Ocean's 11.
Yep.
Solaris. Oops.
No, I think that was right.
Okay.
Those are-
Intolerable Cruelty, Ocean's 12, Good Night and Good Luck, not a hit but still a known movie, Syriana, Ocean's 13, Michael Clayton, Leatherheads, Burn After Reading, Up in the Air, The Men Who Stare at Goats, Fantastic Mr. Fox, The Ides of March, The Descendants, Gravity, The Monuments Men, Tomorrowland, Hail Caesar, The Midnight Sky, Ticket to Paradise, The Flash, he was Bruce Wayne, and he was recently a voice in If.
No.
So,
No One Fine Day.
I don't know what that is.
It's like the other You've Got Mail.
Really? One Fine Day?
It's like Michelle Pfeiffer and George Clooney. Rom-com from the 90s.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
I was reading the 2000s and up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was talking about this
Millennium.
Yeah.
No Batman.
No Three Kings, because that was 99,
Yeah.
dude.
No, he's right.
But
Millennium.
yeah. So,
Oh, he's got something else coming out. Wolves.
yeah, that's what he's promoting for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Apple TV.
Yeah. So, and then I saw this clip too, which I thought was funny. And this is Clooney talking about Tarantino.
I remember we were doing an MTV interview, and they were like, why did you think about George? And Quentin was like, well, man, it was like, I was watching ER, man, and I look over and I'm thinking, fuck, man, like that guy and I could be like brothers, And I'm sitting there like going, what?
George was like on the cover of Us magazine or something. And Robert's like, hey, we should cast this guy. He looks like Quentin. All right, and I just had it in my mind.
That's
We're like identical twins.
That's amazing.
Looking in a mirror.
His
They're separated at birth.
George Clooney doing the Quentin Tarantino accent is so spot on. Mm-hmm. It's so spot on. Like it is so
this
good.
guy's fucking guy. He looks a lot like me. We could be fucking brothers, man.
And like I can tell like that there is like some like frustrated attitude towards Quentin Tarantino when he says that, because he's like
I think
because he has such a annoying voice.
Well, Clooney sounds like just a regular dude, as we said, man of the people, and Tarantino seems like a lot. Like he'd be a lot to hang out with. He'd be cool. I'd like to pick his brain. I think he'd be a very interesting person to have like a lunch or a beer with or something. But I feel like he'd be a lot.
No, I think I would be annoyed by him like
small
like,
doses.
First sentence, much like Joseph has described me in our friendship.
No.
Yeah, first sentence.
First sentence, I'm like, no, I'm out.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
That's all my. That's the story.
So Clooney isn't a fan of Tarantino.
David O. Russell. Quentin Tarantino.
Well, here's the thing, okay? So when I read the story in passing, and then you guys both sent in your George Clooney stories, and and you said, well, Pete, now you got to find a George Clooney story as a joke, as a lark, And I said, well,
we're peeling the layers back.
I'm calling your bluff. Here's my George Clooney story. But when I went back in my memory bank to try to find it, actually, I Googled it to try to find it. Mm-hmm. All of the headlines I saw were the clickbaitiest bullshit. Because if you listen to the way he says, he's like, I don't mind giving him some shit because he gave me some shit. That's just like something you would say to one of your guy friends. When your guy friends is talking light shit about you, it's not even like he's saying, oh, this Clooney guy's a real dickhead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope his wife leaves him. It's like he's just like, I mean, is he a star? He hasn't had a hit in like the last 15 years or whatever. So I could see how he would just be frustrated about that, but it'd be like, yeah, okay, well, fuck him then.
It's interesting that you brought up Inglourious Bastards and George Clooney not being in there, because I could totally see him being Brad Pitt's character. I could see that.
That'd be interesting. I think that...
I feel like it'd be like almost like a Mike Myers type of role, where it's like that small.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like he would, if they were to cast him in it.
You think he'd be a Nazi?
No. I think he'd probably do the Fassbender role and not do it as well because no one can do Fassbender like Fassbender can do Fassbender.
Did you know that Adam Sandler was supposed to be the Bear Jew?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
He was supposed to be the Bear Jew. Like Quentin Tarantino actually wrote that role for Adam Sandler, but Adam Sandler had a project. I can't even remember what he was working on, but he was like, "I'm so sorry. Like I would love to do it, but I can't do it."
You know, what would be even better than Sandler as a Bear Jew is Jeff Garlin. Hey, we guys wants to die for country over here. Just comes out.
Hella raspy voice.
Yeah, eating a sandwich. Comes out of that tunnel. Instead of hitting the bat, he's just munching on a sandwich. Yeah. I love Jeff Garlin. He's so funny.
You know, according to Adam Sandler, this is back to Adam Sandler, but the reason why he wears the big clothes is because back when he was younger, like SNL days, is that he was jacked. Like he was a ripped dude.
I think I heard about that. Yeah.
And then he stuck with the big clothes because now
Was he self-conscious about it?
And no, he was like, because like if I wear the big clothes and then there's like this big reveal when I'm at the beach or something, and then now he's like, now I wear big clothes because now it should stay hidden.
Now because I'm just an old guy.
Yeah.
And I don't
It's just comfortable. I mean, that dude is loaded.
Well, he was in he was in pretty good shape because he's in Airheads. He's naked. He's the pool boy and he's banging the girl.
Yeah.
And he comes out with this little beanie over his junk.
That's right.
And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything." And he's like, he's not ripped, but he's in very good shape.
Yeah.
Better shape than I am.
That's true. All right. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm agreeing with you.
Well, speaking of George Clooney, this comes from Variety.com.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So the title of this news article is George Clooney says Hollywood is getting eaten up by big Walmarts and Amazons around the world when asked about Paramount being sold. So Paramount is being sold by this company that I've never heard of before. It's called Skydance. Well, it hasn't been sold. It hasn't been sold yet, but it's a pending sale. It's worth like about $8 billion. And George Clooney like has a very close relationship with the Paramount Studios. He says that Paramount's one of the great original studios, but some of it. But some of it you just have to say no to. Like when sorry, this article is wonky.
Blame the article.
No, it is.
I swear to God.
It was so he was being interviewed, and in the context of about being Paramount being sold came up. He said, but some of it you just have to say no say. You just have no say in. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't read that. I forgot my glasses today, so my vision.
Why do you not live your life with glasses? We were talking about this earlier. Why do you set yourself up with hurdles that make your day worse, like on purpose?
So Skydance is a production company, and the movies they've produced: Annihilation, Life, Geostorm, the Jack Reacher movies, some of the Mission Impossible movies, Star Trek Beyond, World War Z, just to name a few. But
well, he goes on to saying because the business. Oh shit! Come on, this freaking! I knew I should have.
All of these writers are illiterate. They don't know how to write.
No. It's just it's these damn ads. Damn ads. But some of it you just have no say in because the business, it's all getting eaten up. It's like everything. It's all getting eaten up by big Walmarts and Amazons around the world. Our version of mom and pop shops in a small town is Paramount. Okay, well, so I kind of disagree with George Clooney on this point because Paramount is like a multi-billion-dollar company. It's not. It's far away from a mom and pop shop. Let's be real here, Clooney. Like that's not a mom and pop shop. I get his sentiment though because he wants old like Hollywood back because when you think about like Amazon and Netflix, I mean shoot. Any of the other major streaming services that are churning out these movies that arguably like are a hit and miss.
I think what he's saying though is like if you have say you have like a local restaurant
right
that is very good and they make all their stuff from scratch. It's fresh food. It's not frozen. It's not chain. It's not some bullshit you can just roll up on at any, in the same parking lot as any Chipotle or Chick-fil-A or whatever.
Right.
It's like a local institution.
We make the pasta in house.
Exactly. Something like that.
Where'd you get the flour?
That's yeah, fuck you. That's not even, it's not homemade.
That's called a callback.
Did you mill that flour? You bitch.
Where'd you get the mill?
Poser.
And to make the mill, you pull the stone out of the ground.
I breeded this cow.
But Paramount is that. And it's being bulldozed by Amazon and Netflix, which are making Red Notice and The Gray Man, that sort of stuff versus iconic Hollywood IPs. That's what Clooney's saying. Whether or not we, you agree with it or I agree with it, it's a whole nother conversation.
So that's what I was under the impression that he was getting at is, I think he was thinking of. I mean, really, like going back to Tarantino, From Dusk Till Dawn. That's a super original movie. A lot of people know what that movie is, but I mean, I can't even tell you like what a good Amazon movie is right now.
You Were Never Really There.
Yeah, but
A good Amazon original movie.
That's Amazon original.
But the thing is, though, like you're not gonna
Amazon
you're
original
not,
movies.
Jesus Christ! All I'm saying is that when you think of Paramount, like you can think of like original IPs, but with Amazon, because they're making so much stuff that you're not gonna think of Amazon as this like industry. Well, I mean, they are industry power player, but you're not going to think of like MGM. Like MGM is like an iconic with like the lion,
which is owned by Amazon now.
Paramount. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Shit. But yeah, like you think of MGM, like or Paramount with like the the Peak. What else? What Miramax, Pixar with the little lamp thing.
Are we talking about like their little stings?
He's thinking. Yeah, he's just naming the first thing he can think of when it comes to those.
Yeah,
those
Scot Free.
So I'm thinking
the Bird, Bad Robot, the robot on screen.
Okay, well, I mean,
we're talking about little logos.
I'm just saying, I'm not thinking.
Tyler's on a tangent.
No, I'm just saying, like he's not thinking about, like I'm not thinking about Amazon. Like when I watch an Amazon original movie, like oh, that's an Amazon movie, that's gonna be good. Or,
to be fair, I don't think about that when I see a Sony movie.
You're saying like you don't attribute the quality of a movie because it's from Amazon.
Correct, and I think that's what George Clooney is alluding to as well. Is that he?
Do you do that with any other studio?
I mean,
some people do.
I wouldn't say I do as well, but at the same time,
I don't know. Whenever I see the Sing Copy logo, which is Nolan's, I see that little. At least I used to.
So
see that thing, I'm like, that's gonna be interesting. Or I mean, A24.
Yeah,
at one point.
that's exactly
Neon now.
It's at least gonna be interesting.
Neon and A24 was exactly what I was thinking about, like the modern
Fox Searchlight Pictures,
legendary.
Yeah. So I think
Janus Films.
So I think George Clooney, he doesn't have to work a day in his life anymore. Like, what is the man? He's like 64 or something like that. Like, he doesn't need.
He's hanging out on Lake Como right now.
So what I think about all this George Clooney news coming out,
like it's just a Clooney, just like all of this news is coming out.
Who's he paying?
I don't think he's paying anyone.
His publicist is on.
It started with Tarantino calling him not a movie star, so now he's trying to get back into the
he's like,
zeitgeist.
You know what, Quentin? I'm gonna show you. I'm a movie star.
I'll show you.
I'm gonna show you.
I mean, he was a goddamn sex symbol.
Hey, Tyler, good guess, 63.
Oh,
what?
Right.
Oh, his age.
Yeah, very good.
He's a silver fox.
Yeah, he's been a silver fox for a long time.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that I agree with him. I mean, I don't agree with like the old practices of Hollywood that was happening back then, but I agree that the conglomeration. I'm not going to even try to say that word.
Love it.
But the
know thyself.
Yeah. But the whole like mass of these multi-billion, almost trillion-dollar companies going out and putting out stuff. Some are good, most of it bad. But the attitude of That's it.
Say what you need to say.
Nope, that's it.
Just get to it.
Nope, that's it. I thought we were discussing something, but I guess not.
No, you're just repeating yourself over and over again.
I guess the lighthouse horn, the foghorn. Yeah, there we go.
Foghorn rings for everyone.
You know, I've been listening to our old episodes. I've been going through.
For any new classmates, please don't listen to those.
Anything past episode 17. And I've just been listening to the Gab Chatters. And then when that ends, I just skip to the next one. And we were so like quiet.
Yeah.
Like we were very, very just kind of calm. Like we like if you listen to our show now and then compare it to what 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like we're very like
the energy
reserved.
Is
and Tyler, I don't know what was going on in some of the episodes with you, but the transitions, because we had no segment music.
Yeah.
And you were hosting. It'd be like Pete. So what's your stream pick?
And
Thank you for that great impression.
We had no idea what we were doing back then.
No.
Yeah, but we were all very just very.
I remember for the first
calm.
At some point, I remember thinking we need to like hype ourselves up before the camera, before the mic rolls or whatever, before mics go hot. Because we were it was like a lot of we're going to watch some.
Well, what do you have? What do you have going on
today? We're all going to the World's Fair this week.
Or it's like
it was pretty good.
Or a lot of some of Tyler's news stories would be like, yeah, I don't really have a news story, but this thing happened. And it was like kind of insignificant. And then another interesting thing about listening to old episodes is like our news stories
come to fruition,
either have come to fruition or completely forgot about. Like the Pee-wee, Benny Safdie, the Safdie brothers movie.
Oh yeah.
Obviously never happened. And then when
totally
we first read the article about the Daniels doing Everything Everywhere, like that title was released and that's all it was, and Michelle Yeoh was involved.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to see where it has the news stories that came true, the movies that have come out that we talked about years ago, like the Deadpool 3. Like you reported on Deadpool 3 being worked on 4 years ago.
Yeah,
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it just came out.
I still haven't seen it yet, too.
Me neither.
No,
I do want to see it though. I've seen clips of it. It looks fun. Looks like a fun time. I'm really glad that Hugh Jackman went back on not doing Wolverine, because he said, I'm not going to do Wolverine again. That's done. It's over after Logan. And then he went back to do it again. It's like, yeah, it's the obvious choice. Like, he has to be the Wolverine. And actually, I did read an article. I was going to bring it up on the show, but we were all Clooney'd up. So there was an opinion piece on why Hugh Jackman should be Wolverine, because he's aging. So like, I mean, we got old Logan in the Logan movie, which is fantastic, probably one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen. But him like aging like makes sense for him to like keep reprising his role, because they're just gonna put him in like older roles of Wolverine. And then eventually there's going to be, I think the plan is, and this is just a theory, I think the plan is that they're going to have like a final Wolverine movie, like where he is like
Logan was supposed to be it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was kind of sad that he came back.
Why?
Because Logan. I mean, that was the end. That was the period of his storyline.
I know. And you know
what?
what?
The punctuation at the end of that sentence.
In some ways,
they turned it into an ellipses.
Yeah. In some ways, I do agree with you on that. Like, I thought that was a great punctuation to the Wolverine Hugh Jackman character. However, I don't know. Like, after reading that opinion piece, like, I was thinking, well, you know what? It would kind of be cool to actually see an elderly Jackman.
And an opinion I want to know about of yours, Tyler, that I want to know if it still is your same opinion.
Okay.
I don't remember what we were talking about in this old episode, but you were like, I don't like Henry Cavill.
Oh, yeah. Tyler didn't like Henry Cavill for a long time.
Still don't. No, I don't.
He's jealous.
Jealous of what?
Butt chin.
No. No, definitely not. No, I just think he's just a very wooden actor and just no charisma.
Have you seen Stardust?
I have not.
He played. Okay, well,
I mean, like, come on, you could have answered that question.
maybe you should. Why? What's wrong? What's wrong with that? I know it's true.
Have you seen a movie?
Yeah.
No.
There's no.
No, I don't like movies. Well, enough about George Clooney and Henry Cavill and Hugh Jackman. Let's get into some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown
Angie.
accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks, movies that we watched this past week. Joseph, what do you have for us today?
Oh yeah, it's me again.
You're first this time.
It's so weird. I have two movies that one I watched in theaters, and one is in theaters, but I watched at home.
Okay.
Yeah,
Want to do the theater only one next, so I can jump on.
I'll do it last.
Yeah, I did
right?
second.
Yeah. I watched some streaming picks that are streaming, and I'll go from worst to best. But the worst is not that bad. It's actually pretty good.
Cool.
So no stinkers this week.
Cool.
The first streaming pick I have is I caught up with Five Nights at Freddy's. After watching Wally's Wonderland, which was terrible.
Yes. Not good.
Watching this better version of that kind of story was so much better, so much more enjoyable. I mean, production quality wise, story wise, it was fun. It was very fun, and albeit like predictable, still had a fun time, and it was a good, like, I mean, I've never really played the game, so I don't know how faithful to the game it is, but to me it seemed like
it's a game.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's is a.
You never heard of Five Nights at Freddy's?
It's a jump scare game.
I've heard of the movie, but not. I didn't know it was based off of a game.
It's been around for a long time, and apparently kids are really into it, and that's why it did so well at the box office because they were
Really?
Kids were organizing like friends from out of town to come in and go 20 at a time to go see this damn movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, that surprised me. They've never heard of it. It's been around for like, I don't know, 10 years.
If I never met
it.
Brianna, I wouldn't know about it because she's the one who mentioned it, and we have it on.
It's just so like in the meme zeitgeist that I
Is
feel like
it?
you would have come across
Freddy
it.
Fazbear.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's like 5 games or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's all, I mean,
It's such a rudimentary game.
yeah,
too.
it's just like you're just a security guard for this Chuck E. Cheese type place.
Wait, is it a video game or like a card game?
It's a video game.
Yeah,
It's a
computer
video game.
and or video game, and you're like it's POV, but you can't move around. You can like
You're just watching security cameras.
you can move the camera position, kind of like an old school puzzle game, like Myst or something like that, or Quake or Ribbon. I mean,
Okay.
and you can like move, and you're watching security cameras. You're a night guard at a Chuck E. Cheese type place, and the
called Freddy's.
Freddy's, and it's like.
You have to survive 5 nights, although because the animatronics come alive at night.
And that you're watching the cameras and they're moving around in the building, and you're from like the security outpost. But of course, the cameras start going haywire and you lose power, and you can only close the door so many times, and the fucking giant animatronics coming at you.
Yeah, it's almost like if you
It's kind of like a weird labor law where you have to work 5 nights in a row.
It's like to get off house arrest or some shit.
Yeah, but the movie, I mean, I don't. It seemed like it was received well by most people and people who are fans of the games. But it was fun. It was a fun, like good quality movie, and it went in a direction that I didn't expect it to go. Honestly, I don't know the lore of the game. I don't know if there is that much lore, or if it's it's like fan made lore. But it's like all these, it's like all the animatronics are. Like missing children or something.
Yeah.
And Josh Hutcherson is the main character, and he is kind of like, I don't want to say he's like a deadbeat, but he can't keep a job.
He's just kind of a bum.
He's got like some PTSD from when he was a younger kid, and he's taking care of his much younger sister, and both of their parents are passed at this point. And his aunt is like trying to take custody of the younger sister because she just wants like the government paycheck from
Yeah.
being the guardian.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun time. It's streaming on Amazon Prime.
This was pretty shitty reception on my average rating of my friends list on Letterboxd for this is 2.2.
Oh yeah, I'm looking. Mine is 2 and 1 and 2.
2.6.
Mitch gave it a 1.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Jack gave it 3.5, like you and me did.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I thought it was fun.
I had a good time. So that's streaming on Prime.
And way better than Wally's Wonderland.
Oh yeah,
that movie fucking sucks.
Wasted Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
So that's streaming on Prime, and then I caught up with Pete's streaming pick from last week or a couple weeks ago. Streaming on Apple TV, The Instigators.
Oh yeah,
starring Matt Damon and Casey Affleck.
Another one that people hated
in Boston. Yeah, people didn't like it for some reason.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good time. Yeah, it's just funny. It was kind of like it was. I don't. You just like were watching it, and it's just like you're just having a good time. Like there's not any sort of deep thought to have about the movie. It's just like you're watching this guy who's never done a crime before. he's never been involved with the mob before, and he's like going through like a divorce, or he went through a divorce, and he needs exactly $32,840 from this job to pay off something. They don't even know if they specifically say what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
But it's him and Casey Affleck for the most part as they go on a job, and it kind of goes awry. And the stakes get higher and higher, and Ron Perlman being the kind of crazy, coked out mayor of Boston. It goes in a direction that I didn't expect it to go. And it was fun. It was a fun time. Doug Liman movie. So
the Brinks truck scene was pretty good.
Yeah. Just them like bickering at each other, like, you gonna fucking drive? What's with you and the driving, huh?
Yeah. We got some activity in the chat. Number one, Joe Bridges says, 5 nights in a row, labor laws. Tyler would be surprised that me and all my coworkers work 12-hour nights from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Mostly 4 to 5 nights in a row. That is how most jobs work, Tyler. 5 nights. You work 5 days in a row.
Yeah, but I was under the impression that it was like consecutive. Like you don't go home. Like
no. You just come back the next night and you work.
Yeah.
5 nights, not 5 days in.
Like what I was under the impression of is that this poor human being is sitting watching security cameras for 5 nights in a row. Like
5 full days.
Yeah,
nights.
like they're not going anywhere.
And then Kevin from Real Spoilers in the chat, and he says that Willy's Wonderland is much better than Five Nights at Freddy's, which is not factually incorrect.
Easy disagree.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna have their wrong opinion.
And then he says that we're awful and we're fired.
What?
Because of our opinion about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, it was.
Heather says it's entry-level horror for youngins, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need it to be Hereditary.
Yeah, it's not. It's like
fired.
It's like kind of violent. But it's a PG-13 movie, so. But it was kind of brutal in some parts.
Yeah.
So the Instigators streaming on Apple TV. Worth your time. It's fun.
Do you like Gronkowski?
Oh yeah, just like the random,
nowhere,
just random.
He has to be. I mean, if you think about it, it's like a mayoral fundraiser, and he's there.
It was like it was like the election.
Yeah, it was election,
and he wouldn't concede. It was like a homage to Trump in 2020. I went and rewatched a movie that we reviewed a while ago. I rewatched Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Streaming on Hulu.
Great movie.
And I didn't go back and listen to the episode to hear what I don't remember what I thought about it. I knew I liked it, but watching it again, I felt like I liked it even more.
Yeah.
Just like his character and how tragic his life is. Mm-hmm. Even before we meet him in the story, like just growing up with 7 sisters and how they treat him and the things they say to him.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Hey, remember when we called you gay boy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, you freaked out. Remember that?
No. I don't think that's how it went. No, I don't think so.
This is where I think this put Adam Sandler like on the map as being a serious actor.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And I would say this, I wasn't a fan of Uncut Gems as much because I compared this movie to Uncut Gems because I haven't really seen Adam Sandler in like a serious role. I think, I guess, Click. You could probably
that you've seen, like you've seen Click.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know he did a movie
because
with
like
Don Cheadle, Rain on Me.
Rain on Me.
I haven't seen
Rain
that
on Me,
one.
and then also Spaceman.
Oh yeah, Spaceman. Oh yeah, Spaceman. That was a good one.
Spaceman.
So I think this is probably one of his best like dramatic roles that he's done.
Kevin in the chat says it's his best role.
Yeah, Punch Drunk Love is such a. I mean, it's a PTA movie, so it's like there's a level of weirdness to it.
Yeah.
But like this one is just like the opening scene with the car crash.
Yeah.
Is so weird. It's just out of place, and then dropping the piano off, and that being sort of like a safe space for him throughout the movie. And then obviously the main storyline of him getting scammed out of some money or identity theft or something.
Yeah,
kind of. It's like blackmail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really solid movie, and it's really short.
It's the only movie I can think of in recent memory where the second it was done, I put it back on and started it over again.
Yeah, it's such a fun world that Paul Thomas Anderson made with the music and with very like romantic and cutesy. Although there's not that many cutesy things that happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Other than like their relationship, but even then, when like they're in Hawaii and he's like, "I wish I would just want to bash your head in with a sledgehammer."
Yeah.
You're so cute.
I really like that. And Philip Seymour Hoffman is really great in it as well.
D&D Mattress Man.
Yeah.
It's just, I agree. I mean, cutesy, I guess, is a
Well, Paul Thomas Anderson says he wanted to make a Hollywood musical, romantic musical without music.
Yeah.
No musical numbers. So no dancing, no whatever.
That's why it has that sort of like that kind of score, that like old Hollywood, the strings.
Yeah, and it's a little in the fantastical mysticism. Cool. I'm glad you liked it even more better. It's one of my. I have a hard time because There Will Be Blood is such an amazing film, but I feel better when I watch Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah,
and I think the Phantom Thread has become my favorite of his. Every time I watch it, it gets better. And Punch Drunk Love is like the same way, but it's harder to put on There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, because
it's heavy, and it's long.
There's a lot to it,
and it's like it's a lot of bummer.
Yeah,
because you're watching this fucking asshole the whole time.
I hate most people.
Yeah. Oh man, that fire scene with what is it? It's cousin or brother? Was it?
Fire.
He said
like the fire.
He says it's
like
his brother.
Oh, by the bonfire.
Yeah, by the bonfire.
It's a guy who's faking to be his brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Deanna was in the room when I was watching Punch Drunk Love, and it's funny that, I mean, I kind of agree with it, but it's obviously very different. Like Wes Anderson and Paul Thomas Anderson, very different filmmakers, but there's like shots that Paul Thomas Anderson does that like would fit in a Wes Anderson movie.
Right, they're scaled back with the color palette.
A lot of like flat,
framing.
like straight on flat shots on tracks.
Yeah,
they're going side to side.
Yeah,
that definitely fit within a Wes Anderson movie.
Where's that streaming again?
That's on Hulu.
Nice, cool.
Also, just the look, like just how the way it's shot is fantastic.
Yeah,
but that goes for any Paul Thomas Anderson movie for the most part.
Yeah.
And my last one, I watched, also streaming on Hulu. I finally caught up with Dinner in America.
Oh, right.
And this was a good, honestly, kind of a good pairing with Suburbia.
Really?
Just because the nature of the character of Kyle Gallner's character. It was this was really good.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie. It is like, there's a character who is quirky, and she reminded me of like a Charlene Yee.
Yeah, she's the best. She's so good.
And she's just a very odd girl. The beginning of this movie, the characters reminded me of characters from like that would fit in like a Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
But this is a very crude and vulgar movie. Basically about this guy who's like he's like a punk kid, and he's kind of on the run from the cops throughout the entire movie. And he's just going around selling drugs, and he's evading cops, and he runs into Patty, his character's name, who is sitting outside in her break, outside the pet store, and they start talking, and he's like, "You got a place I can go, like I can hide," and so she takes him back to her house with her.
That's what any sane normal person would do.
With her parents and her younger brother, and she's like 20 years old, and he's just like obviously an outlier compared to everybody else that you encounter throughout the movie. And there's some there's a few reveals that I did not expect in this movie that I don't want to give away, because there was two reveals like one right after the other about characters. I was like, oh shit. I didn't even know that was a thing, and now it's a thing. And then later in the movie, there's another one that I was like, oh, that is a really interesting element to include about this character. That kind of like doesn't change your perspective, but it explains a lot. But yeah, this was a really, really good movie, and the director also did Snack Shack, which I was a big fan of, that I talked about last week.
This song is at the end is...
Yeah, it reminded me of Scott Pilgrim a little bit.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim music.
It like, this is on...
Turn it off. People who haven't watched it, that was a good surprise to hear when you get to that point in the movie. But yeah, the characters, this is a very kind of cutesy movie. Doesn't really start that way because of the nature of his character. He's very aggressive, has like some, I don't know, anger issues, but
very much so.
He's very rebellious, and but it turns into like these characters who would never normally, you wouldn't expect to be hanging out. It like evolves into them being like, of course they would hang out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're made for each other.
Yeah. It's really, really good.
Good. I'm really glad you saw it, Tyler. You'd love this movie, Dinner in America.
I saw the trailer for it. I was like,
not for me. New movie? No thanks.
Yeah, you know me so well.
Well, you should watch it.
Yeah, you should.
No, I do. That sounds like a good time.
But yeah, like,
where's the streaming again?
That's on Hulu now.
Hulu also? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then my last two movies, I watched Skincare.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Which is in theaters now, I believe. This is starring Elizabeth Banks, Lewis Pullman, son of Bill Pullman, I believe.
Really?
I didn't look it up, but they look alike.
That's a dynamite poster.
Nathan Fillion for a little bit.
All right.
And Luis Gerardo Mendez.
Oh, okay.
And Michael J. Rodriguez. I can't remember. One of those actors is the supposed adversary to Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth Banks' character is a Hollywood like facialist, like skincare specialist.
Oh, okay.
And she is the beginning of the movie. She's on the news with Nathan Fillion. He's like a news anchor, and she's promoting her skincare line that's coming out. And then the next day, this other guy, this new skincare specialist, moves in essentially across the street from her, and introduces competition to her as well. And then right off the bat, they have a rivalry. And Lewis Pullman plays like a friend of a friend, and that ends up being more of a friend to her. And he's like a life coach, so he says. I don't want to get into too much.
What kind of genre is this? It's a comedy?
It's
The
fun.
poster doesn't look like it's a comedy.
It's like a dark comedy.
Okay. All right.
And it's more about what I took from it is that it's more about how women are like harassed / not believed in their like, are victim blamed or whatever. And less about the story itself, because there's like some motivations that I didn't quite understand, and that kind of like why is he doing this in the first place?
Yeah.
But it was a kind of a tense watch. I gave about like a 3.5 on Letterboxd.
Okay, cool.
Definitely worth a watch.
Skincare?
Yeah, Skincare. And that's in theaters right now, I believe.
Cool.
And then finally, only in theaters right now, went and saw Alien Romulus.
Nice.
opening night. I saw it at IMAX,
Same.
and I saw it at Esquire IMAX.
Joseph saw it in a real IMAX.
Yeah.
I saw it in the fake ass IMAX, Limax.
Is it lie
Limax.
like a lie? Like it's a lie?
It's just a nickname. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's a lie. It's not
Limax.
real IMAX. It's a lie.
And
Liars.
and I know that on our Cinemax page there's a whole post about it.
Oh yeah.
People bickering.
Bruce.
About Alien?
Yeah.
I didn't read
You
any of
didn't
the
see
comments.
that one?
No.
Oh my
I've
god.
seen some very divisive reviews about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Perky, he tore a new asshole to Alien Romulus.
Oh, Angry Otter's in the chat, and he says he was very disappointed with Romulus.
Ah, man, see, it's so divisive.
I can't wait to hear what Tyler says about it.
Yeah.
I almost saw it last night, but I
You
just
should have. You have a movie podcast, you know.
I know.
You claim to be an Aliens fan.
I
Yeah.
am, but I just didn't have
So it's very much like it's like a generational thing, I think, because it reminds me of all the people who went to a Deftones concert, but then 100 Gex opened for them,
What the fuck? Wait, where are you going with this?
and then all of the old heads of Deftones fans were like pissed off because
I'd be pissed off.
100 Gex
I'd be
opened for
pissed
them.
off.
It was that, and that's what I equate.
Such a good
That's what I equate
metaphor.
like this to, because Alien is like a beloved franchise,
Okay.
specifically the first one and Aliens.
Yeah.
And they're both very good movies. And Alien especially is a really good movie. I come from a different generation, like we all do, and watching Alien Romulus, there's a lot of pull from the other Alien movies in terms of like the references,
Yeah.
or just like
Quite a few.
lines, or like the story beats. It was
Is there a cat in there?
no, there's no cat. There's no cat. But I really dug it. I really dug Romulus. It was a good horror movie, like a good space horror movie. It was very tense. Really great sound design.
Should we do a spoiler thing after this? Put it on Patreon.
Maybe.
And let's just you and I talk about it and kick Tyler out. Because I'm not going to spoil this movie for you, Tyler.
Yeah.
I mean, what's there to spoil? It's
There's
aliens.
there's plenty to spoil.
There's aliens.
There's
there's aliens and they're killing people.
Yes.
What's there to spoil?
Yeah, there are aliens and they're killing people. Yes, that's for sure. Very great effects, really like great practical effects. I know that we talked about that.
Yeah.
Before it came out, and
Fetty was very proud of his practical.
the characters. I mean, like you going into an alien movie, everyone's gonna die. That's not a spoiler.
Everyone. Yes.
Everyone. The android in this one was really the standout performance, I think.
He was phenomenal.
He was really good, which is always interesting about like
The androids.
The androids, like in Prometheus and in Covenant.
Yeah, because Fassbender did an incredible job. He carried that movie.
It's so funny though, because they're robots. So like they're like stereotypically they don't have any emotion.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest thing that we take from those movies, the performance wise, is that the android was the best part.
The actors who played Andy, the android, is Andy Android.
Yeah.
David Johnson was his name.
David Johnson.
David
Yeah,
Johnson.
I mean,
he's fantastic.
I was a
in
big
this.
fan of how they made this movie. It felt like a video game. Like it felt like Isolation a little bit. It also felt like an alien like ride. Like I was in like a roller coaster or something, or like going through like a simulator of like just being scared.
Kind of like going like through like the Jaws ride in
Yeah,
Universal
kind of.
Studios.
But it's dark.
But it's
it's dark and
yeah.
steamy. But yeah, I really dug it, and it was it just looks really well. Looks really well. It looks really well done. It just looks like
It looks good.
Some of the visuals in this were very eerie and creepy. They're specifically in the third act of the movie, which took me by surprise.
Yeah.
Because there's something that happens in the theater that I was in. It was like, because it's like a silent reveal, like there's no music or sound or anything. it was like audible gasps from everybody. It was
I'm curious what that is. There's a lot of surprising things in this.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest one. Anyway,
We'll get into that.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a really good time with it. It was something that I could definitely see myself watching again.
Give it like a rating or a grade or something. 4 stars, 4.5.
Yeah. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd.
Okay, cool.
I was on a movie high.
Yeah.
When it ended, super fun time.
Great, awesome.
All right, Pete. Wait, is that?
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
it.
last one.
Okay. Pete, what do you have for us this week for streaming picks?
Well, I will piggyback off of that because I also saw Alien Romulus, and my thoughts are that I'm an easy to please person, right? I try not to like tear down movies. I think that even like low budget kind of crappy movies, they can do a lot with the little budget they have.
Sure.
This movie was made for $80 million.
Yeah.
The creator was made for about $85 million. Both phenomenal looking movies. They look fantastic. There is some of the face hugger stuff I don't think looked great. They overused it a little bit, overextended themselves, I think, a little bit. And there is a legacy character that is brought back that it looks terrible.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely abject misery I was in as I was watching it.
Yeah.
And if they were to take like put one scene and be like, okay, this is established, this is the character, and then they just shoot everything from the back and use the voice, so they don't have to show this like,
or use shadows. Yeah.
Or it's I won't spoil it anymore, but there's a lot of things they could have done to shoot around that. But they, instead of doing that, they go back to that character over and over and over again, and he becomes a source of exposition. So they're
so it's a he.
Sure. Yeah. We're bringing back one of the hundreds of legacy characters they have that are male.
It's Ron Perlman.
Yeah, it's Ron Perlman.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. No, it's Stephen Dorff when he's imitating the xenomorph in Resurrection. No, but he becomes now this person that keeps popping in. Is like, well, you better do this because time's going to run out, and you're like, why do they have to show that again? It just took me out of it every time. It took me out of it. All that being said, strong 4 stars, like almost 4.5 stars, because
despite that,
because I'm in the alien world. Number one, they have a little bit more world building to the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, and they show what the workers of that corporation are basically living with.
Yeah, it's more rich.
Yeah,
And
you get an established, like, here's why this character must go do this thing that she doesn't want to do, and it makes sense, and they have like their stakes at there, and some of it didn't all make perfect sense, but it's like every alien movie that we see, you see like a new variation of the xenomorph,
right,
or a new slight twist of the lore. In Prometheus, they have that black sludge that the engineer drinks at the beginning and like disintegrates his DNA.
Yeah,
and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
what is that? Well, maybe they expand a little bit on that here, and then one of the xenomorphs is birthed from one of the engineers, and he looks different than a xenomorph birthed from a human.
Right.
So it's like, is it taking some of the DNA of the host and then extrapolating that to a xenomorph? Maybe it is. They play with that idea in this too. There's so many cool little twists and like additions to the lore that if you were to, I feel like complaining about those sort of things is like people that are complaining about like the Star Wars sequels, and they're like, oh, now they have forced teleportation. Where the fuck was that in episode 4?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but it's a new movie. We want to do new things, and it's like, if you could believe that someone could choke you with your finger, force choke a person, or like make someone do something they wouldn't do before, like a fucking zombie, basically take over their brain with the Force. Why couldn't you believe that they could teleport something or whatever? Yeah. It doesn't make it, to me. It seems like a natural extension of the lore. And in Romulus, there is some natural extensions of the lore, which I appreciated. They play with some of the physical characteristics of the aliens in a way that I've never seen before. In Alien Resurrection, one of the xenomorphs attacks another xenomorph, and they spin their tail around and use the acid as like a whip.
Yeah.
And they like shoot the acid, but from a busted tail. And you're like, ooh, that's interesting use of acid blood.
Right.
This has an even more interesting use of acid blood. And it uses a pre-set up plot device that was established earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
You're like, a lot of it is good. And then they do a direct quote from one earlier Alien sequel, which in the timeline hadn't existed yet. And you're like, why'd they do that? So this takes place between Alien and Aliens, closer to Aliens.
It's 20 years after Alien.
Yeah, and the Aliens is 57 years after the original.
Right.
So it's about halfway between the two. And there's a line that is said in Aliens that you're like, so it's just very coincidental.
Oh, she has a monopoly on those words.
Yeah.
No one else can say it ever.
Sure. It didn't bother me, but I was like,
oh, so it's Sigourney Weaver.
No. So it's that didn't bother me, but it was also in my head I was thinking like if you could do a version of that without like a direct pull quote in almost the exact same scenario, it would feel like it was a little bit more natural. Like it almost feels like some of the fan service was shoehorned in. That brings it down from a 5-star to like a strong 4. Okay. Those things. If I were to get rid of the Snapchat level AI face swap and get rid of some of the like clunky shoehorned in fan service, it would be like phenomenal. So there's a lot to love here, and if you're looking for something to hate, there's enough to hate if you have that willingness to do that.
Sure.
If you're just looking to have a good time and like get scared by some xenomorphs and some new versions of the xenomorphs, you're like, fuck, okay, this does it. And Joseph is 100% correct. David Johnson is phenomenal in this. He plays Andy, the android, and Kaylee Spaney continues her reign. She was Priscilla. She was in
Priscilla. Oh yeah, Priscilla.
She was in Civil War, and now she's the lead in this. And she's phenomenal in. I haven't seen Priscilla, but everybody that I've heard says that she's the best part of it.
All right.
So loved it. Thought it was great. Can't wait to watch it again at home, again and again and again. So, all right, my actual streaming picks that are not in theaters. Worst to first. I'm gonna start with. This movie called Loose. Loose. L-U-Z.
Get loose.
Yeah, Bangels. It's I want to say it's Argentinian. This is from the guy that made Cuckoo. And everyone's talking about, before you watch Cuckoo, you got to watch Loose.
Is it cuckoo or cuckoo? It's cuck.
No, it's cuckoo. It's like a cuckoo bird.
Cuckoo.
I guess so. It doesn't seem like spelling wise it would be pronounced that way.
Yeah, cuckoo birds are spelled like
Cuckoo.
a cuckoo.
Cuck.
I have a feeling that the storyline is probably going to have something to do with that because cuckoo birds, what they do is they fly into another bird's nests and they push out the eggs of that bird and they lay their own egg in there.
Yeah.
So when their egg is hatched, the other mother bird takes care of their own baby. So I have a feeling that's probably going to take
genius.
It's probably going to have something.
The
to do
old
with
switcheroo.
Excuse me. That's probably going to have something to do with the storyline of Cuckoo. So, but I watched Loose, the prequel, well, not prequel, but the movie that came before this writer-director. It's streaming on AMC Plus and Shudder. The person who made this, his name is Tillman Singer, and this is in German and Spanish, because apparently there's a lot of Germans in Argentina.
Yeah, they escaped
because the Nazis.
The Nazis.
This movie is not good.
Okay.
It is interesting, and it is visually kind of stimulating, and there's some ideas in it that I thought were very interesting. Mm-hmm. But it really was just kind of a lot of ideas that never really made a cohesive story, and it really didn't go any place that made me engaged with it. It's very confused. It says, Luce, a young cab driver, drags herself into the brightly lit entrance of a rundown police station. A demonic entity follows her, determined to finally be close to the woman it loves. So there's some cool stuff here, and it's a mess. So watch it or don't if you don't want to.
What was the stream?
AMC Plus and Shudder. I watched it on Shudder. Next up, We're All Going to the World's Fair.
Oh.
Streaming on Hoopla, Canopy, and Max. This is by writer-director Jane Schoenbrunn. Jane Schoenbrunn, who did I Saw the TV Glow most recently. And I found out about this movie because when it came out, 2021, people on Twitter were giving it some bad reviews. And Jane Schoenbrunn would retweet them and cuss out the people that were giving bad reviews.
Okay.
And directly attack these people that were saying, you know, hey, and it wasn't like the person who made this movie should be put in prison. It was like, I didn't really like this movie at all. It kind of went nowhere. It was a vibe that had nothing going for it.
And he's just like, who are you?
More or less, it was like, well, how about you?
How about you go to hell?
Yeah, how about you learn how to form a cohesive thought before you watch a movie that challenges you fascist or something like that.
Oh,
and like
that kind of person.
She was
people
she was really going after these people, and I'm like, that is not a good look. And then I think like deleted a lot of the stuff and apologized for it, and then kept doing it.
Oh, okay.
So I immediately was already turned off by the filmmaker. And this is the synopsis says, reality and fantasy begin to blur when teenager Casey, alone in her attic bedroom, immerses herself in a role-playing horror game online. And it's like a Bloody Mary type thing. You know, when you're like, you say these things and you do
say Bloody Mary 3
we're gonna
times
do
in
the-
a bathroom mirror.
Kind of. She goes on webcam and she's doing a live stream and she goes, you know, I'm going to do the World's Fair Challenge. All right, chat, I'm going to do the World's Fair Challenge. And she goes, I want to go to the World's Fair. I want to go to the World's Fair.
Don't say it.
I want to go to the World's Fair.
No, you haunted us.
And then that's it. And then throughout the course of the next few weeks, supposedly, if you do it right, your body changes and your world changes and you become a different person. Huh? That's as much as I could surmise.
Okay.
So people are uploading.
Right.
It's like a creepypasta.
Yeah.
And people are
Tumblr story.
Yeah, it's like a Tumblr story.
Tumblr story.
And
remember Tumblr, kids?
And she's obsessed with this, and she's a very lonely child, and she's up in her attic bedroom, and her dad's not particularly nice to her, even though you never meet him. He just like shouts at her from the downstairs, and she's obsessed with this, you know, this thing, this
going
online,
to the World Fair.
Yeah, this World's Fair Challenge. So she's constantly watching videos of people's like, oh, I did the World's Fair Challenge a week ago, and I swear, you know, I could feel, you know, worms crawling through my my veins, you know, and they're just like recording themselves, and you're like, these are just poor, disenfranchised children that have no friends.
It kind of reminds me of that Simpsons episode where Bart and Nelson and Ralph and Milhouse, they want to go to the World Fair, but they realize like it's not a thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that episode where they steal a car and they yeah, because the funny
just the name, because they're going to try to kind of go to the
well,
World
funny
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna go on a tangent, but please continue.
Okay, you can go on a tangent on your streaming picks.
Okay. Yeah.
This is your episode. You can do whatever you want, actually.
Okay, well, fine.
You can tell them to shut up.
Here we go.
I remember that there was a time where I thought that the World Fair was still a thing when I was like 12, 11 years old, and I wanted to go, much like Bart did in Bart and Gang. And I was like, I want to go to the World Fair. I want to go to the World Fair. Mm-hmm. I want to go to the World Fair.
And now here you are. Your body's changing. You've become this creature that
oh my God, there's worms.
Well, that was years ago. You've changed into what you've become today.
No, but why don't we have a World Fair anymore? Anyways, I'm sorry. I don't know.
What was it? I don't know.
It was almost like
it was a showcasing of like futuristic technology.
Yeah, it was almost like a consumer CES.
Sounds like something that happened in the 50s.
No, it happened in way earlier than that. It was like in the 20s, 30s.
Angry Otter says he went to the Aichi World's Fair in the early 2000s, and it was amazing.
Aichi.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Aichi.
So anyways.
I itchy.
So basically, it's just like the kind of thing like where you just like, you know, you say something three times in a mirror and then spooky stuff happens. Cool.
So anyways, this poor girl is obsessed with watching the reactions of these other people who are also sad and alone in their rooms, and just talking about the thing that's happening to them, and it just nothing happens. And it's very frustrating. It's very annoying. Heather says that she did not like the movie either, and she will still watch I Saw the TV Glow, which I am absolutely going to still watch that because I've heard very good things. And that is based off of a creepypasta too.
Really?
Yes. So this person
no
is
originality in
none
Hollywood.
whatsoever.
I've heard either it's really good, and I've also heard it's really bad.
It's a vibe. You know?
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. If you're on board with the vibe, you're in. If you watch it and you want something more, yeah, you're not going to get it. I watched a rental that's out now that's still in theaters. Twisters. The sequel to Twisters.
I thought you saw that in theaters.
I did not.
Oh.
No.
Who saw that? Oh, that was my parents who saw it in theaters.
Yes, you get us mixed up because we're such close friends.
Oh,
Me and your mom and Daryl.
They're a throuple now.
We were gonna go together, but I just couldn't go. It's a 3.5-star movie. My review on Letterboxd says, "God, it's so dumb. I love it."
Okay.
Yeah, it's a super fun and super stupid movie. It is dumb as shit. It is dumber than a bag of hammers. This is
Was there
really
was
bad.
there was
It's
there
really stupid.
was Pepsi cans still involved in there?
Yes, there were.
Yes.
Yes, there were. There is a Dorothy 5 now. But it is very fun, and Glenn Powell is I don't even know if he's like a human being. He's like some sort of weird smug robot that exists only for movies, you know. Like he's really you know how like Tom Cruise used to be confident and smarmy, but like very I don't know, like he was like a sex symbol, and he was very
I get what you're saying.
He was impressive when he was
Yeah.
young. Now he's just, it's almost like he's ascended to another smug plane. Tom Cruise now, you know.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell skipped the first stage, and now he's just in the smug level.
Oh.
Like
So he's already up there.
every line he says, I could feel the smug dripping out of his pores. You know?
Yeah.
But it works for the character, and he's like,
Well, that's good.
it's funny because they're like YouTubers, and they're the up and coming ruffian storm chasers.
yeah.
No, storm riders. Is
Oh,
what they call
that's what they
themselves.
call them, storm riders.
Yeah.
All right.
And the whole plot is that the main girl, let's see who she's played by.
Daisy Edgar Jones, right?
Yes, yeah, that's who it is. I can never remember her name. She's a college graduate, and she was trying to do something in her college class for a thesis, and instead of throw the sensors up into the tornado like the Dorothy 2, it was a super absorbent material to get sucked up and kill the tornado. Like suck the moisture out of it and then kill the tornado. There's they never explicitly say it, but it almost seems like when they do that, it makes the tornado worse. Because they do it a couple times, and every time it's not good. It does turn out well for these people. But this is a slight spoiler, so if you're gonna watch Twisters and you don't want to be spoiled or whatever, skip ahead 10 seconds. But the first time you see what the Storm Riders actually do, he drives his Dodge Ram pickup truck into the middle of a tornado and shoots off fireworks into the middle of the tornado, and they make like this firework tornado for his YouTube channel for the views.
Oh my god!
And that's what kills the tornado.
Does it really?
Fireworks?
Yes. And his Dodge Ram pickup truck, the way it doesn't get picked up by the tornado is that he's installed giant corkscrew device that drills into the ground to anchor him into the ground on this truck. And you're like, he's
That's
like,
schlocky.
all right, lock us in. And he pulls the lever and
Lock us in.
drills into the earth. And you're like, what the fuck is this movie? But it was a lot of fun. Really, really fun. Oh, Storm Wranglers. I'm sorry, Kevin says, not Storm Riders. He does say,
Oh, storm wranglers.
you don't face your fears, you ride them. That's the tagline. So so that is streaming for on rental right now. You got to pay for it, but it is a lot of fun. Turn your brain off before you start this movie because it is dumb. Next up on Hulu, I watched a documentary called The Contestant from 2023. This is about a Japanese game show contestant who was unaware that he was participating in a show, and he basically unwittingly got locked in a single room, completely naked for over a year, and the only thing he could do to survive was send away for magazine giveaways.
What?
They told him they didn't even...
This is Old Boy.
Exactly Old Boy, but in real life.
It's Old Boy and Truman Show mixed together.
It's 100%. You nailed it. And it
He's
is
locked in a
so
room,
sad.
nude.
He's the nicest guy, and he's so sad. And the game show, the showrunner is being interviewed in it years later. No charges have been pressed for some reason.
How'd they get him in there?
So he signed up to be in a show from the producers of this very famous game show. It was in Japan at the time. And he was signed up, and they did a random draw of like the 20 people in the room. And they picked his name, and he thought, okay, well, now I'm going to go to the next level and get qualified for whatever it is. They just lead him into this room and tell him to get naked, and they shut the door.
Get naked.
And they shut the door, and they never come back for a year.
Do they feel? I mean,
They feed him, I assume.
He's got like crackers and water, And then
he's only surviving on crackers
he has to
and water.
win food from the magazines.
What the fucking
and
dystopian
clothes from the magazines. He's naked the whole time. His by the time it's all over, his hair's grown out. His beard is all long and stuff.
This feels illegal.
It absolutely.
Okay,
and
what do you mean win like by the magazines?
So
like,
you know how when you're going through a magazine and it has like a little thing that says, clip this out and send it in for a chance to win or whatever.
Oh my God.
So the only thing in the room is the little tiny kitchenette, a table with about 5,000 postcards to send off, pre-stamped, and then a whole magazine rack full of magazines. And he just has to go all day and just send away for this.
This is torture.
So he wins at one point. He wins like live lobsters, and he's like, lobsters! And he goes, oh shit, how do I cook these? I got nothing to cook them with. And then he has to figure out how to cook them with the rudimentary shit that he's got in this room. And then he wins like a set of car tires. And he wins a bag of rice. And he's like, oh my God, I get to eat rice. And he has to cook the rice, but he has no pots and pans to cook the rice in. So he has to figure out how to do that.
How do you even figure out if you don't have it?
It is a really intense situation. And I feel so bad for him.
Is this like a recent thing that just happened? Or
within the last like 15 years.
Jesus
like
Christ.
Damn.
And there is a happy ending. It is not all terrible. But the whole time he's in there, he doesn't even know that he's in a game, and he doesn't know he doesn't even know there's a camera there, so he's talking to the camera, but he doesn't know that it's like going on live TV or anything like that.
What did they tell him?
Nothing.
Like, go in this room.
Yeah, they just let him in there, and
he's like, okay.
And granted, they are these high-profile TV producers, so he assumes it's going to be eventually something. But they thought maybe they'll record it and they'll edit it into something, whatever.
Does he have nothing else going on in his life that he was just able to do this?
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to be famous and he wanted to entertain people because he was made fun of as a kid and he thought making people laugh was, disarming or whatever.
Okay,
so he wanted to be famous, but
okay, I get it.
While he's in there, he becomes ultra famous. Like everybody knows who this guy is.
Interesting.
And they call him Eggplant because his face is very long. He's got a slightly longer face than a normal person. And
that's because of his huge wing.
They're kind of well, supposedly this is where the eggplant emoji came from because during the broadcast, they would cover his junk up with an eggplant because that was his nickname.
Oh,
okay.
Supposedly.
So he
supposedly,
and
so
he was famous while he was in there.
He was well hung.
No, no, it was that's just what they covered up. His nickname was Eggplant because his face was long.
But they would cover his genitalia.
They covered his balls up, was junk up with an eggplant emoji.
Instead of a blur or a black bar, it would just be an eggplant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, anyways, the whole goal was he can get let out after he wins 1 million yen worth of products, but he doesn't know that. So he's just going and going and going.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's crazy. So
it's a compelling documentary.
It's compelling. That's called The Contestant. It's on Hulu. I absolutely recommend people to watch it.
Cool.
Next up, I watched Manhunter streaming on Amazon Prime and the Criterion Channel. This is a sequel to Silence of the Lambs.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
And guess who plays Hannibal Lecter?
Yo mama.
Brian Cox.
Oh.
Brian Cox. Yes.
Brian Cox?
Yes.
Oh.
From Succession.
I guess that makes sense.
Yes. FBI agent Will Graham, who retired from catching Hannibal Lecter, returns to duty to engage in a risky cat-and-mouse game with Lecter to capture a new killer. This is a Michael Mann joint. I watched it because it was Michael Mann, and I've heard good things, and there is a couple insane scenes in this, and this is just like what was it that I watched? A Blowout of him recently? Or was that, no, that was De Palma. I watched another Michael Mann movie recently that was pretty good.
Ferrari.
I thought Red Dragon.
Oh, Miami Vice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought Red Dragon was the sequel to Silence of the Lambs.
This is the Red Dragon. This is based off of the book Red Dragon.
Manhunter?
Manhunter, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if, I haven't seen Red Dragon, so I don't know if it follows the same storyline, but this is from 86.
So Manhunter is not the official sequel of Silence of the Lambs, the movie, because this came out in 1986.
Yeah, it's Silence of the Lambs is the book.
But the story,
is the book, and then
I see. Right. Okay.
So very interesting.
Was that streaming? Criterion Channel.
Criterion Channel, Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
I watched Disturbia because after we got done watching Suburbia, Brianna said,
I want to watch Urbia.
We need to watch something to cleanse the palate. Let's watch Disturbia. That's way better. And we watched the Shia LaBeouf movie from 2007, directed by DJ Caruso, Disturbia, loosely based off of, what's it called? That Alfred Hitchcock movie, Rear Window.
Rear Window,
Yeah,
yeah.
loosely
I
based
thought
off
you
of
were,
Rear Window.
I thought it was in another Simpsons episode.
And Shia LaBeouf with a unfortunately named character Kale, Kale, just like the cruciferous leafy vegetable.
The horrible vegetable. Yeah.
I don't know why I put this above
Manhunter.
Manhunter and the contestant, but this is probably like a 3-star movie. Maybe 3.5. It's actually pretty fun. It's the fun factor is high, and David Morse plays a great villain. So
I saw this in the theaters with my dad.
oh, cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
I remember
slightly horny movie too.
he gets like
It is
he's,
a slightly
he's like
horny
on
movie.
house arrest.
Yeah, because
right.
he punches his teacher.
Yeah.
And he gets his Xbox taken away or something.
Xbox and his iTunes and the cable.
So all
Yeah.
he has is
So
his
literally has nothing to do except
all he
for
has is his binoculars.
to spy on his next door neighbor. Hot
Yeah,
next door neighbor.
I like that part of the movie, like the sort of like spying your neighbor thing.
Yeah.
Streaming on Pluto TV, Paramount Plus, and Fubo.
Nice,
And then I watched your streaming pick from last week, Snack Shack.
nice.
Follow up with
Top of the list.
Yes. Silence of the Lambs is the sequel to Manhunter, says Adam.
Oh, it's opposite.
Whoa.
Oh, Adam's in the chat.
What up, Adam? Yeah. Hold on a second. We got a little.
Neither of us talked
Adam
about
Murphy.
We didn't talk about Shock Treatment because it's not streaming.
Yeah, I know we really can't.
What a wild movie.
Yeah, that was weird. But yeah, Snack Shack streaming on MGM Plus. Very, very fun.
Yeah.
Way more emotional than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Characters are super good. The finale was great, and I didn't like his friend character just because that's the point.
Moose. That's his name, right?
I
The
can't
like
remember.
the asshole friend.
Yeah, the asshole friend. I just fucking the worst. This guy. But I liked their hustle. I liked that I always had a little a shtick going, and I've said it before many times in on the show. I like cons. I like grifts in movies when someone's trying to get one over on someone else, and they got this whole plan how they're gonna, trick this person and steal money from this guy, and they got all these little cons and stuff. They have a million of those.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
They remind me of like Ed and Eddie. Like,
Yeah.
like they're just like always looking to make a quarter, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, super fun. Yeah, AJ and Moose are the two characters, and directed by Adam Remeyer, which is the director of Dinner in America. Also wrote both those movies. I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah, he wrote, directed, and edited Dinner in America.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he edited this one too.
Yeah, they're very similar in vibe. They're both like wholesome in some way, like in some small way.
Full of F-bombs and cursing and like degenerate behavior, but in a very strange way, like oddly wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I like the fuck dogs were funny.
Yeah.
Fuck dogs were great. I don't know, just a really Snack Shack is it's a pretty solid movie.
Yeah.
Not quite as good as Alien Romulus, but anyways, those are what I got, Tyler.
If I gotta compare the two.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just going worst to best.
Heather says no Amazon Woman on the Moon.
Not yet.
Shame.
Shame.
Soon, Heather. Soon.
Yeah.
Is it streaming anywhere?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I think
just
so.
on YouTube for free.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't streaming anywhere, but you can get it on archives, Internet Archives.
Oh, that's right.
Internet.com/archives.
Yeah, internet.com/computer/download/ Amazon Women on the Moon.
Yeah. All right.
So, I don't have a streaming pick. I have an anti-streaming pick this week.
Ooh, all right.
Is it a movie that we recommended?
No.
Come on.
Tyler? For shame.
I watched his movie. See how easy it was?
Dude,
For shame.
Look, I'm sorry. I
Don't say you're sorry and then not correct the behavior.
Okay, fine. I just won't say anything.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry. You want me to be like that?
No,
Sociopathic?
Well, that'd be nice.
Okay, yeah, no, screw both of you. No, I'm not watching any of your movies.
Okay, good, perfect.
I'm never watching a movie ever again.
Yeah,
Never again.
just for that, I'm not watching any movies. Okay, continue.
I don't know what compelled me to do this. I have what? So anti-streaming pick Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird.
Is this your first time watching it?
No,
Oh.
second time.
Bold
but
choice.
the second time, the first time I watched it, I wasn't really a fan of it. I almost forgot about it. But I don't know what compelled me to watch it again. It was on my Amazon Prime suggested list, and I thought to myself, it's much like the movie Amelie, where I detest the main character, which I also want to revisit that movie again.
Okay.
Because I was very harsh on it the first time watching it as well. But Lady Bird, like, it was just like on my feed. Like, I just like had worked like an 11-hour shift, and I was restless sitting at my computer chair, and I was like, okay, enough of Bukowski. Let's watch something.
How often do you actually reading Bukowski?
Every day. Yeah.
What's the name of the book?
Yeah,
it's the Essentials of Bukowski. It's just a series.
The best of
the collection of stories or poems,
compilations.
Right.
Nice.
So yeah, I read it every day.
Okay. It's your Bible, you might say.
That
and the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook, Roethlisberger's wristband.
Correct. Yeah, you know me so well.
He's like, all right, now all we got to do is catch her in the bathroom before.
What you got to do is at night.
Yeah.
Enough about the Steelers because I'm still sore about their loss against the Buffalo Bills, which was just horrible.
Okay.
But anyways, Lady Bird, directed by Greta Gerwig, who I have a crush on. I think she is a fox.
Okay.
As we all know, that this movie takes place, the setting of this movie takes place in Sacramento, which we all are from, native to.
Yes.
And so a lot of people in Sacramento were very excited about Lady Bird because of the setting. And I was too. I bought into the hype. I was like, oh, I've never heard of a movie being set into Sacramento before. And I think that's like with a lot of citizens of Sacramento. Like every time you hear it like in a song or like referenced in like a movie or a TV show, you're like, hey, Sacramento.
Yeah.
So again, I just on a whim, I checked it out, and oh my God, Greta, what were you thinking? This movie sucks. This movie sucks. The characters are insufferable.
Okay.
The positive note, though, is that it's very well shot. Greta knows how to shoot a movie, but she doesn't know how to direct her actors. But she knows how to shoot a good movie.
I have a question.
Coming from the same person who loves Little Women.
I love Little Women.
Directed by Greta Gerwig.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Do you think they were well directed?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think.
But she doesn't know how to direct characters.
I mean, I guess just specifically for this movie, that's what I was referencing. Not for her whole catalog.
Was Timothy Chalamet your favorite character in this?
Fuck no. I hate that guy. I hate Timothy Chalamet. I hate him.
Okay.
But he says with a smile on his face.
Yeah. He's everything I wish I could be.
He's just like me.
No, he isn't.
Chalamet's on screen again? That guy took my whole aura.
He has what I can't have.
Saoirse Ronan.
So the reason why I didn't like this movie was because it felt like an AI written movie about a person from Sacramento wanting to get out of Sacramento.
Okay.
Like that's how I felt. Like the main character, Lady Bird.
Okay. Yes.
I thought the whole like origin of the name like was stupid. Call me Lady Bird. Call me Lady Bird. And she's like, shut the fuck up.
So you're not into people using people's preferred pronouns and the names?
I didn't know Lady Bird was a pronoun.
It's a name.
Like, I don't let people call me Joey. Because, like, if you call me Joey, I won't acknowledge you.
Is that right, Joey?
So, like...
Ty's so progressive.
So, like...
So progressive.
I mean...
I hate this woman-led movie.
Okay, well, that's not true. That's not true.
I won't use the preferred name.
So this is where I'm coming from because the movie kind of struck like a personal feeling for me, in which when you guys were we were still living in Sacramento, but when you guys were younger, did you ever have like this compelling feeling to leave Sacramento?
No.
No?
I'm not from Sacramento. I'm from Vacaville.
But my story is not...
but
But my story is not everybody's story.
I'm not saying it should be everyone's story, but
A lot of people see the town that they grew up in, whether it's a small town or the capital of the state,
right,
like Sacramento, and all they see is I want more. I want the New York. I want Chicago. I want Boston.
Yeah, Lady Bird, she wants to go to New York. Like that's the whole thing. Like she wants to get out of Sacramento. Now, for myself, when I was her age, I wanted to do the same thing, and essentially I did do the same thing. And then
you
I
went to SLO.
no, Humboldt.
Oh, Humboldt.
And then I came back because
You went to San Luis Obispo.
No, what?
You didn't spend any time in SLO?
Oh, I would have loved to have gone to SLO. That would have been great. The weather is great there.
I don't think anybody there calls it SLO. That's how we know that we're not from there.
Maybe so.
People calling it Frisco.
But like I actually did do that though. I did get out of Sacramento and then I came back. And so, but what this movie is that it kind of made me realize that what Greta was going for was what essentially I was going through. But the characters are so like, I mean, you know,
she was a girl.
Yeah. I didn't like how many women. I didn't like how many women were in that movie. That was a really big problem as well.
You only like women-led movies when they're period pieces because they have no rights.
Yeah, correct. I mean, we really should go.
We need to rein it in.
Yeah,
all the
we
rights.
we really should go back to that time. No, I'm just saying that. So
almost
like
we could make America great again or something.
I know. But I was thinking to myself that there is a good story with someone that is like living in it, like you said, Pete, like whether it's a state capital or a small town, like there is a good story to be told there for someone who is wanting more and then realizing what they've lost or what they took for granted for.
Yeah.
But for Lady Bird, for myself, I feel like it was such a surface level sort of style of storytelling that it didn't make me feel emotionally connected to Lady Bird and like all the other characters. I think one of the better scenes in that movie that I really liked though was when I don't remember the actor's name, but the kid who's gay.
Lucas Hedges.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Lucas Hedges. Like Lucas Hedges' character, like when he is with like Lady Bird and he starts crying. He's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to, like that really got to me. Like that was like a really good scene. But everything else, it felt very pretentious. And I know, Joseph, you thought Frances Ha felt pretentious.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you. Okay. And I actually really enjoyed Frances Ha. I think that she should have stuck with that style of writing.
She didn't direct that though.
Yeah, she did.
That was Noah Baumbach.
Oh, that's right. Man,
She was just in it, and I think she wrote it too with him.
Yeah, that I was okay. I knew she was involved in like the creation of the story in some way. But I think that there was an idea there, like, and especially with having a place like Sacramento being the setting, there just should have been a little bit more. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. Like emotional aspect to it. But it was kind of cool to see, like,
Gunther's ice cream,
like local landmarks.
I was in the Tower Theater watching Lady Bird when they showed the Tower Theater.
I mean, so I thought that was cool too. Like, just because.
So you just didn't like the characters?
Just because I was I didn't like the characters, and I didn't really. Yeah. Actually, that's really what it is. I didn't like the characters at all. And I think the story was just needed a little bit more of
explosions or something.
Yeah, or maybe a child dying.
Yeah,
or something.
Baby being torn apart.
Yeah, a baby
dog attack to an infant.
Yeah, a dog attacking an infant. Something
racial
of that,
prejudice or something.
Yeah, something of that.
Curb stomping.
Yeah, something of that nature. So yeah, I might revisit the movie again though.
So you think it sucks?
That
sucks as a movie.
Two times in a row, hated it both times. You're not going to watch anything that we recommend. You'll watch this a third time to hate it again. Again, Tyler, why do you make your life harder than it needs to be?
Well, so this is the point that I was going to get at too, is because this movie perplexes me because I think it's a very beautifully shot film. Like, I think it looks really good, but I just don't like it, and I'm trying to understand. Like
you said, you don't like the characters.
Of course I do. I don't. But there's just something else about it that I'm trying to unravel. I'm trying to figure out like why I'm so like repulsed.
Because it features a strong and confident woman in the lead. We've already debunked it. It's there.
You know what? Maybe I just have to come to terms with my misogyny. I think I just have to do
I live a block away from that liquor store where the mural is at the like Peacock.
Yeah.
That market's been closed for like the last month. It just says
Really?
there's a paper written sign. There's a paper sign on the door. It says temporarily closed. And it's really annoying.
Yeah.
Tyler, the classmates are turning on you in the chat.
Why? What did I do?
First, Angry Otter says, just throw a Wonka hat on Tyler, and you couldn't tell them apart. You and Chalamet.
That's not the first person that said that I looked like Timothy Chalamet. And I was offended by that.
Kevin, one of the most attractive young men of our time. Kevin from Real Spoilers says there's a Bukowski musical called Bukowsical, and it's great.
Bukowsical?
Yeah. Oh. He also says that Lady Bird is the best movie of 2017, and boo Tyler, bad take from Adam Murphy.
I mean, I can't please everyone. Right?
And Joseph Bridges, ask Tyler what it feels like to always be wrong.
Heather's turning on you too now. She says,
No.
I have thoughts about Tyler's thoughts about strong women with opinions.
Okay.
It's because of this movie we're reviewing later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Tyler just needs to shave his head.
He loved it because the only female in the movie was abused.
Yeah.
Twice.
Suburbia.
No, there was two different women that were abused.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, like everyone
Stand
has
by your convictions.
Everyone has a belly button, right?
Lady Bird sucks.
right.
Greta Gerwig's hot. She doesn't know how to direct anything.
Except for this, my favorite movie of the year, Little Women.
I love Little Women. That was a great Greta Gerwig movie. I really want to pick her brain.
Yeah.
Like that would be nice to have her on the show.
Is that what the kids are calling it now?
What? Pick what?
Oh yeah. Also, one thing before we move on, because we got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I got a wedding to go to. Heather says you pussed out last week because you were saying nothing but good things about Kentucky Fried Movie while she was on the show. And then the second she hung up, you're like, this movie, sorry, Heather, this movie stinks. Fistful of yen, terrible. I want to turn the movie off. Also, you can only like this movie if you're old.
I think that's what I said.
No, Tyler.
No, I said that.
Oh, you said that? Oh.
It is a generational, like, for that. If you grew up with it, you're gonna find it a lot more funny, especially if you understand the references.
Well,
Why not say it to Heather's face though?
I did.
Say it to my face.
I did. I did.
Go back and re-listen.
All right.
I also found I actually forgot to mention just real quick.
Yeah.
I found the show. I started watching it. It's True Detective.
Oh yeah.
You guys heard of that?
I have.
Oh, yeah.
I heard it one time. Somewhere. I don't know where though.
I'm a big fan of True Detective.
A few episodes in, it seems like a show that would get bad right after the first season.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
And it'd go downhill immediately after the first season.
Oh, okay. We're not going to get into that conversation. Do not trigger me into getting.
I think you would like it, Tyler. I think you might like it.
Season 2?
No, season 1.
Oh, should check it
I think
out.
you might like it. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Me and Tyler actually did. I don't know if you saw this. We did a whole two episodes on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Broke down 4 episodes.
What do you
at a
mean
time.
you don't know?
I don't know if you did.
You know what's funny is we got more views on those videos and reviews than anything because the 2 or 3 people in the chat said, "I see True Detective." I click on the video.
Oh yeah.
And then they immediately turned it off when they realized it was just me and Tyler.
But yeah, no, I actually have been rewatching it though.
The first season or the second?
The first one.
Oh, again?
Nice.
Oh, because you didn't watch it for the thing.
Nice.
Yeah, this is like my 4th watch review of this whole show.
So good. So good. Yeah, I mean, that's the only movie I watched this week. I almost checked out Alien Romulus, but I got busy. And so...
Prediction: you will hate it.
I think Tyler's gonna like it.
Oh.
$5.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Gotta be honest. Tyler.
Be honest.
Of course I'll be honest. But
For the first time in my life.
Yeah. All right. You guys got anything else to say?
No, I don't think.
Does the chat have anything to say to disparage me? All right.
No, we're good. All right. So thank you to the cool ass yardies over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Chris, Michael, and Steven. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass or just watch on the YouTube page. That helps too. And thank you to all of our Patreon and subscribers on YouTube and the Patreon. It means a lot. Until next time. Thank you for joining us this week as we gab about George Clooney and all kinds of good stuff. Follow us later on in the week if you're on the podcast stream, or in a few minutes if you're on the live show as we review Suburbia from 1983. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class. And please leave us a voicemail. We like to hear from the people out there. That voicemail number is going to be 209-730-6010.
And follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
All right, see you later.
See ya.
See ya.
Time for class.
Class is in session.
Roll call. Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You're mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kim left to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition. I'm your host for today, Tyler.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Rootin' Tootin' Pete.
Pistol Pete, actually.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Pistol Pete.
Pistol Pete.
Okay.
And we are reviewing my movie that was picked on the Wheel of Destiny, 1983's Suburbia.
Red Band.
Oh, it's a red band.
Meet the kids from Suburbia. There's Jack,
Wake up and smell the coffee, man.
Sheila,
I have so many scars already.
Joe,
That could be there all your life.
and Ethan.
I feel kind of scared.
You'll love them. Or hate them.
Metal rejects running wild in our street.
Yeah, man.
Book up, Dano.
Their music.
We're talking about kids. Kids like yours and mine. Well, I'm damn sure they aren't my kids.
Their home.
This is the best home any of us ever had.
I want to pull that move, like doing a
Besides,
Rochambeau
if we
and
didn't
then
have
just...
each other, we wouldn't have anything.
And nobody's gonna take it away from them.
You shut up!
You molested your own daughter, you scumbag. Hasta luego, shit face.
A new movie about a new generation. Suburbia.
Suburbia, which is a fine punk movie of the ages. Like I said in the top of the show, came out in 1983 when household tensions and a sense of worthlessness overcome Evan. He finds escape when he clings with orphans of a throwaway society. So essentially, this Evan, he doesn't even become the main. There's not really a main character in this story.
It's kind of all of them together.
But in the beginning of the story, just to get the plot rolling, Evan is our guy who escapes from his alcoholic mother, and integrates himself into the punk scene, his local punk scene. And then from there, it kind of is reminiscent of like Train Spotting, almost like just like that's like slice of life. It's like I was thinking about this when I was watching it again, because I haven't seen it in decades. It reminded me of a Sesame Street version of like movies like Kids or Gummo.
Sesame Street.
Yeah, because this is very tame compared to compared to those movies.
All right.
Are you saying this is like Sesame Street compared to those movies? Compared to Kids and Gummo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, before we get into our initial thoughts, I was told that we have a special guest on the line.
Yes, we do. Local celebrity Adam Murphy.
We haven't heard from him in a long time.
Yeah, our old pal. And old listeners would know a segment called Adam's Plops. Joseph and Adam used to be coworkers, and Adam would walk by and plop a movie on Joseph's desk and say, "Hey, you should watch this."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give Adam a call right now because apparently he's got thoughts about Suburbia.
Got some things to say.
Yeah.
Ring, ring, telephone.
Is this working?
Ring, ring, telephone.
Hold on a second.
What is this?
It says it was connected.
What was this show?
Hold on. Let me check and make sure.
Please clap.
It was connected a second ago.
This is dynamite stuff. Joseph Bridges says, have any of you seen The Decline of Western Civilization? We're experiencing it right now.
Yeah.
It was also done by Spheris, the director of Suburbia, and is more or less the real documentary behind this movie. Easily one of the best docs ever made.
Okay. Something's going on. I keep connecting to the board and then it doesn't connect. Hold on 1 second. Let's give it a shot. Maybe it's accidentally connecting to my... Yeah, that's why it's connected to my laptop as well. Sorry, Adam. I just hung up on him twice. There it goes.
Hey, we can hear it now.
There it is.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Kate, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I could hear you the whole time.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties before.
Okay, all right.
But before anything else.
Oh man.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? Welcome back to the show.
Classic. Yeah, good. Thanks.
Great to have you back on. It's been too long.
Well.
Haven't felt one of your good plops in a while.
You know, everybody needs a good plop now and then.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I just had one a few minutes ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
So yeah, you and I were texting, and you out of the blue texted me and said,
"Oh yeah."
You said, "What is your text message exactly?" You said,
"I don't know. Let's see."
What the hell did I say to this guy?
He said,
I said, gee whiz, Tyler made you guys watch Suburbia.
Yeah, exactly. And then so I figured you probably had some thoughts. This seems like a movie that you've probably seen in your youth.
Yeah.
And so I said, you got a plop for the show? And right when I was saying that, he was like, hey, if you want, I got a plop. We text each other at the same time. I was like, holy shit, it's a mitzvah.
Yeah, that's simultaneous discovery is what they call that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So before,
like Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So before you talk about what movie a plop you have for us, give us your thoughts on Suburbia.
Oh, dude, it's been so long. I wasn't anticipating, exactly going too much into it, but I just, I know that it's like super DIY, low budge. Penelope Spheris was like hanging out with the punks for a long time, doing The Decline of Western Civilization and all that stuff. And yeah, I remember it being like a fucking bummer.
You can say that.
Especially the ending. I remember the ending very, very clearly. And yeah, it's, when you grow up watching Wayne's World and Black Sheep and stuff, and then you go back to her older films, it's kind of like sick.
Yeah. It definitely, the vibe, Little Rascals is very different than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slightly.
They were rascals, weren't they?
Yeah, these little rascals.
They were. Yeah. I mean, you can see the through line from like her early stuff to the more commercial stuff, but yeah, no, it's pretty rough. Like I said, I mean, I probably watched it last time. I probably watched it when I was like 22, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Tyler said it's been probably about a decade or two, maybe, since he's seen it.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about it at all yet. We haven't reviewed it. We just wanted to stop in and say hi and see if we can get a plop from you.
Yeah. Well, the plop's going to be a little bit of a gear shift here.
Okay.
Well, I have like a punk movie, but then I also have another movie, which was the original thing that I wanted.
What's your punk movie?
Well, oh yeah. So the punk movie is it's actually got Penelope Spheris as a character in it.
Oh, cool.
Because it's about the Germs.
Oh.
Darby Crash. Mm-hmm. It's and they play a huge role in the decline of Western civilization. But yeah, it's about Darby Crash and the Germs and their 5-year plan of him just basically killing himself, overdosing on drugs.
Oh, wow.
Is the movie.
What's it called?
It's called What We Do Is Secret.
Oh.
Yeah, and oh god, I can't remember his name. Shane something is the lead. He's been in a ton of other stuff. But then after the movie came out, he fronted a Germs like revival. Like the Germs got back together.
Shane West is the main guy.
Yeah, there you go.
And this is streaming on Amazon Prime, Tubi, and Pluto, and Freevee right now.
It is. It's very easy to find.
Yeah. Cool. Well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like. No, well, kind of a bummer, but it's more like the Hollywood version.
A little bit more produced. This is from 2007.
Even though it's an independent production. Hey, sweetie.
Popping out.
Yeah, this is the small one too.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, she
won't stop.
Yeah, dude, it's insane.
All right, well, we'll look that
It's
up.
really crazy.
I mean, I already put the Decline of Western Civilization parts 1 through 3 on my watch list. To get an idea of Severus's other stuff. Severus's. So I'll check out What We Do Is Secret as well. But what's your actual plot?
Okay, so I wanted to take my son to watch this at the Tower, but it didn't work out, and so I acquired it, and we watched it, and it was great. It's called Robot Dreams, and it's this. I believe it's a Spanish director. And it's like a nearly wordless movie. It's like anthropomorphic, like animals. Yes, I will go on the trampoline. So I watched it with the kids, and they loved it. I know. So I watched it with the kids, and they loved it. And it's really really imaginative, but it's also like very emotional, and like it's got some weight to it. But it's nearly wordless. It's just all these like animal characters in New York City, and it's about this dog who's lonely, who orders a robot that gets dropped off at his house, and they go on an adventure, and then they get separated because reasons, and they can't get back together, and it's very
interesting.
It got me. It's fantastic.
Animated, mostly wordless, emotional.
Yeah.
Spanish with no words.
Spanish. Yeah, but it's like, all the words on the screen are like, oh, that's so sweet. Like there's a lot of posters for movies because it takes place in the 80s. So there's like posters for movies in the background where there's like famous billboards or whatever, which is like a neat thing. But other than that, it's just a really, really kind of cool, simple animation style. Oh, it was great.
98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I've heard a lot of people say this is great, and it got no release at all. It's like
it was at the Tower for like a week.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed.
Seems like a bad business model. Put it in theaters for a week when it's getting almost universal praise.
Yeah, well, people need to know.
Yeah.
Guess what? Harry Potter is a wheel.
Yeah.
He's a human.
Harry Potter is real.
Yeah, he's a wheel. I saw his picture.
Yeah.
Ask your kid what their thoughts on Suburbia is.
Oh, sweetie. Well, no, I was going to ask her about Robot Dreams.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Well, even better. Okay.
We're moving on to Suburbia. That's fine.
What?
Yeah. The film Suburbia? Penelope Spheris.
You know the one.
What do you think?
Thoughts?
She said she was like, she's not interested.
She said
not interested. No.
She's like,
fair enough.
She says it was a bummer.
I prefer Linklater's version.
Yeah. She's yeah. There is the other Suburbia.
Well, there's no place that you can stream that right now, Robot Dreams, but we'll put a pin in that, and once it's available, a little bit easier at home, we will push it out to the classmates for everybody to watch.
Yeah, I'm not endorsing anything else other than just see it when you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very good.
And if anybody who is not involved with the Adams Unstreamable nights, just follow us on Facebook when we have another bootleg cinema night. We usually will promote it on the Facebook page too. So come and join that next time you can. It was a lot of fun. We saw Shock Treatment this last Sunday as a group, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
The sequel to
not
Horror.
As good as. It's the first time I'd ever seen the whole thing, and it wasn't good.
Yeah. Well, at least we agree on that.
Can't win them all though, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's all good.
They can't all be bangers.
Yeah. Maybe there's a reason it's unstreamable. All right, Adam, we're gonna let you go. You need to go. I know you need to go jump on the trampoline.
Yeah, I mean, it's required.
It's very important.
A father's work is never done.
Exactly. We have duties.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling in the show, buddy.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice to talk to you.
Talk to you later, dude.
Bye.
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 What a delight.
Yes.
So,
that was cool of him to call into the show.
Yeah. He just out of the blue, he just said,
"Yeah,
Suburbia, huh?"
Yeah, I knew.
No,
What
interesting.
he sniffed it out. He was like, someone's watching Suburbia.
What is that?
I don't know if he like watched last week's stream or saw that all three of us had logged it on Letterboxd or something, but he figured it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Suburbia. I chose this movie because it just came up in my mind one day. I thought because I knew about the movie. I knew that it existed, and I watched it, and I was very into it because I was full blown into my punk phase. Which, for our viewers out there, I'm wearing my punk jacket right now, so you can see my patches.
Is that Dracula over there? I see.
That's Dracula. Got Vampiro. Got the Danzig patch, and
there you go.
And then
let's look on the back. I will narrate while you turn around. Tyler's got the giant Misfits patch on the back here.
You know, yeah, I got the whole costume set up.
The whole costume, playing the part. Yeah.
Yep.
Halloween came early.
You know, like there would have been a time where I would have been so offended by that.
How long have you had that jacket?
Oh, I've had this jacket since 2015.
Okay.
So almost
coming on
10
a decade
years
now.
Yeah. But I remembered watching this movie when I was a teenager. And so I guess it had been like nearly 2 decades since I saw the movie. And I forgot about it. Like I knew of its existence, but I couldn't remember the title. But like I remembered the movie, and there was like periods of times in my life I'm like, what was that movie? What was that?
I hate that feeling.
I was like, what was that punk movie that I watched? And like
I would video games sometimes. I'm like, what was that game? The knight, you jump around with a knight and he's got a sword out, and there's like pink and blue acorns. And you're like, oh, it's wizards and warlocks or something like that.
Yeah, it's so like it always like evaded my memory, and then one day I think I saw like a post on Reddit or a TikTok or something that referenced the movie, and it was like Suburbia, and I was like, that's what it was.
It unlocked a core memory for you.
And then so I wanted to revisit it at the time that I saw it, but I thought it would be good for the show just to talk about it more in depth.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting movie.
But yeah, so like this movie, I mean, by all accounts, it's not that great of a movie.
Is this your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I guess I'm getting my initial thoughts right now.
Oh my god! Just curious.
What? I think so it's not very well acted. It's not very well written, but the attitude of the movie is kind of what sells it for me the most, because it is definitely a movie that you would watch like as a teenager, and then you would be like, oh, and especially like if you're into punk music too, like, and you're seeing this movie like with like, you know, green eyes, and you're like, yeah, I'm a punk too, yeah, like it kind of just like fuels that fire, and exactly, and so I think there's something endearing about the movie as far as like how it's made. Like I was reading some trivia on it that a lot of those child actors like weren't even trained actors; they were just kids.
Yeah,
and so
they actually ran over that one.
Yeah, yeah. That was
committed to realism.
Yeah, that was a big controversy. But I thought this movie was very endearing. I don't know if I would watch it again though after seeing it the second time around. I think it's just it's a movie for kids.
Yeah,
like it's a movie for teenagers, like people like going into their puberty years. You know, it's like
I remember my puberty years fondly.
You know, and it's an interesting thought as well that I had.
Sorry, that's me. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
just checking the stream.
It was an interesting thought that I had too. Is we were talking about how like comedy like evolves, like with the Kentucky Fried Movie review. I feel like in a way that this movie is definitely, it shows its age, and you look at like another movie that's beloved in the punk community, SLC Punk.
Yeah.
Which I think is like made that subject matter of being like a young punk rocker in like a town, like being quote unquote rejected.
Yeah.
I think that was done better than Suburbia, but
Okay.
I feel like Suburbia, for myself, like just after watching it with a critical eye, there's just something, you know, endearing about it. I mean, yeah, it's not that great, but it's got character, it's got heart. But again, it's rough.
All right.
So, what about you, Joseph? What was your initial thoughts on Suburbia? You messaged the group chat saying you wanted to turn it off in 10 seconds after going into the film.
Well, so there's an interesting story to be had.
Okay.
I don't even know if you responded to me.
No, he just laughed.
No, I just
He's just
laughed.
laughing.
Yeah, I was just laughing.
You weren't,
I was working, so
you weren't
I
even,
couldn't do anything.
I didn't get any clarification, and I was still unsure.
How could you? Like, what do you mean? It was on the last episode.
Because there's two movies that are named the exact same thing and are kind of about the same type of subject matter. I didn't. Okay, so what happened was. There's two movies entitled Suburbia. One was released in 1983, which is what we're reviewing, and then one was released in 1996 or 1997, directed by Richard Linklater.
Yeah.
And that's streaming on Prime. And so I like.
Oh yeah, both of them are streaming on Prime. Yeah.
I think it's on Prime. Anyway, so I like just watched Suburbia, just picked the first one, and then I went to that one, and started playing it. I got it was the opening credits, and then I see directed by Richard Linklater. I was like, "Oh, Linklater did this? Oh, I'm excited now."
I can't wait.
And then I got about 30 minutes in, and I realized that I was watching the wrong movie.
And he texted the group.
And then I messaged the group, like asking, I was like, "Is it?"
And I told you it's the 1983 one like 5 times, and he said, "But are you sure?"
Yeah.
You didn't believe it.
No, I didn't.
I'm like, yes, we had this whole thing asking about Penelope Spheris and what she directed.
I know. I remember that. I think it was the director that clued me into it was wrong. But then I was thinking like maybe Tyler was wrong because I wouldn't put it past him to not know that there was two movies entitled the same thing.
Yeah,
and so I was like,
that's fair.
Are you sure?
That's fair. Fair. Yeah.
But then
Brianna was reading reviews of the Linklater Suburbia, and she goes like, "Why do they keep saying Linklater directed this? Isn't this a woman directed this?"
Yeah.
Like, you're on the wrong one, baby.
So I and the Linklater one had Giovanni Ribisi in it, and some other names like actors, not like actual punks, like in the '83 Suburbia.
Right.
But yeah, after 30 minutes, I like turned it off and put on the right one, streaming on Tubi. And then yeah, within the first 10 seconds, I was like, "Oh, this is the one."
I regret
this is the one.
Damn it!
Damn it!
Okay.
Because like when you first start it, it's a very, very grimy, very low budge, very like shot on cassette or something.
Audio cassette converted to a video.
It's like the audio quality is not super great, and so I was like, "Oh, this is the kind of movie we're watching, like a suburban Sasquatch quality type of movie."
Suburban Sasquatch.
Yes.
So I felt it was dirty, it was stinky, it was smelly. The world that we were presented in this movie, I eventually kind of started to like it a little bit, There's some. It's overall, it's kind of a hard movie to watch.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she used actual people, like not actors, for a lot of the roles. So like a lot of the acting wasn't super great. Plus, like the whole like dog shooting scene was really fucked up, and even how they filmed it was fucked up. Kind of reminded me of White Dog.
Yeah.
How they're like blowing dogs up basically, and you see them like flipping. And they're basically their legs in the front were tethered, and then when they wanted to get them getting shot, they would just pull the feet underneath them, and it looks like those dogs are breaking their necks.
That's how like horses are when like battle scenes when they trip up a horse.
Yeah.
Like, isn't horses like if you break a leg you got to kill them?
It's race horses.
Yeah, that's
all horses.
No, it's race horses.
I'm pretty sure it's all horses.
I don't think it's all horses.
Oh.
Maybe in the movie industry because like they can't keep performing. But so I didn't appreciate that. I even looked it up that they did it without telling anybody, and it was like the American Hollywood like Animal Association or something like that. It was not an authorized
production or whatever
production, and they gave it a disapproval rating.
It was a run and gun, emphasis on the gun.
Yeah. But after that, it's a lot of it actually kind of reminded me of. You guys seen This Is England? Ever seen This Is England?
No.
It's very similar, except it's in England, and a little bit higher production quality. It has actor Stephen from Boiling Point, and
Stephen Graham.
Stephen Graham, yeah. And he is like a England like nationalist, so basically a Nazi.
I think I have seen that movie. Yeah.
And he's a skinhead, and he runs with a bunch of other skinheads.
I'm thinking of Green Belt Gang, Green Iron Gang, or something like that with Elijah Wood. Anyways, continue.
And so they're like those guys who like wear the suspenders and the white shirts with the white button shirts.
Nazi punks, fuck off.
And the shaved heads and the big boots.
Yeah.
And there's a kid in that movie that gets involved with them and becomes like essentially one of them, like a young kid. And it's a very tragic story. But a lot of what happened in that movie reminded me of what happened in Suburbia. But yeah, overall, by the end, I was like, I would never watch this again. and you're right, Tyler. It is not a great movie. I understand the feeling of like the punk nature of it, but like it was bored. I mean, they were racist. The line where the guys he tells the kid who his dad is, his stepdad is, and he's like, it gets worse. He's black. And he's like, oh boy.
That's going on the board.
It's it was a tough watch overall.
I mean, it's a product of its time.
And I'm like, is this punk? Is it punk to be racist?
Well,
it's for skinheads, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to get into that.
We will.
But yeah.
But overall, not a big fan.
Okay.
Not a big fan.
Pete, what were your
Thank you.
I thought you were just going to start talking.
No. I want you to get the full host experience.
All right. Well, Pete, what were your initial thoughts on 1983 Suburbia?
Thank you, Tyler, for asking that. I thought you'd never ask. So I thought I had to double check that I was watching the right movie when I turned it on, because I'm like, isn't this from 1983?
Yeah.
This looks like it's shot in 1965 or something like that.
Yeah, it does.
It is rough. The grain and the low quality nature of it. And I started looking it up, and it's produced by Roger Corman, who just recently passed away and is a king of like shitty low quality movies.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for that. Very good callback. And it's made for $500,000. Half of it was from Corman. The other half was from Spheres herself.
Where did the rest? What? $500,000.
$500,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like it was made for $50.
I know. It's like I heard that I read some trivia in it saying that the most expensive scene was $50. But because they had to hire a cockroach wrangler for the cockroach.
So they got a
shot.
fucking wrangler for the cockroach, but they
all the
fuck the dogs.
Yeah, for real. Because they couldn't get the shot. So
we need a cockroach trainer.
So it turns out, I was looking this up while you were talking, Joseph. A broken leg in a horse can cause damage to blood vessels and other tissues. And since horses have evolved as prey animals, they need to stay on their feet pretty much all the time. It can prevent healing. Should an injury prove to be career-ending, it is common practice for the horse to be licensed as a slaughter horse. But it also applies if it's a non-race horse, just because of it's like it can heal terrible and then the leg's fucked up for the rest of their life. It seems brutal to me.
A slaughter horse.
Which begs the question in movies like, Napoleon or Gladiator, or Braveheart, or something like that, where they
Any war movie with horses. War horse.
Yeah, war horse, and they do the same thing. They tie the rope to the horse's front legs, and then they fucking flip over. Like,
Yeah.
Isn't this really, really bad for the animals?
I think it is.
So.
Most likely, yeah.
So I'm watching. Yeah, most likely, definitely not good for him. So I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, the first scene is the kid gets nuked by the Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Penelope Spheris' own words. She says that Corman had almost no input on the production, except for he pushed to make sure that scene where the kid gets nuked is on the very, very front, the very up front of the first scene of the movie. He wanted that. I wanted people to be ready for what they were going to see.
Yeah.
And then it's like immediately goes to the sexual assault of a woman on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone is just standing around
laughing
and poking fun and stuff. And it's like, granted, she didn't get raped. Thank you for that. I'm glad for that to happen. But I'm like, I feel like the
Thanks for not raping me.
Yeah, thanks for not having that on camera. I'm glad I didn't have to see that. But it's like, I feel like now, I think like the punk movement has turned into something very different.
Oh, that would not fly. Like, even when I was active in the punk scene, when I was a teenager and young adult.
So, like, early 2000s.
If that would have happened, like, you would have gotten your ass kicked.
I'm sure.
Kicked hard, too.
I'm sure. And back then, it was like, the punk scene was synonymous with skinheads and racism and just getting in fights and stuff like that. And I feel like now it's almost like punks have been pussified in a sense.
I agree.
Because of woke.
Yeah, because of woke.
No, I agree.
But that's a good thing because
fucking liberals.
Because do you not think it's good that women don't get raped at punk shows now, Tyler? You gave me a look.
Wait, what?
I said that's a good thing, and Tyler goes,
I don't know about that.
No, you said I think punks are now pussified, and which I think is a good thing. And I was like, no.
In some ways, it is a good thing because if it means that you lose the accountability of people like this to run rampant in your scene.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna. Like we should still be violent, just not against women.
Sure, I mean, I think that there's probably still a fair
and
amount
not racist.
So just violent against other white guys.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
No hate crimes.
It's like the way that I thought about it was like punk was always just rebelling against the system. It's like the have-nots rebelling against the haves, which is right. I mean, what other ethos could you ascribe to the punk scene?
I mean, it's not what.
I feel like we're getting into like what defines a punk.
That's the whole point of the movie, in my opinion.
I mean, really, at least for myself, it was just about liking the music and being a part of a community of like-minded individuals.
Other races.
Of other races. I mean,
at the time.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
it's not. It was not like when I was a quote unquote punk kid.
Yeah.
I was never about like, oh, fuck the system, blah, blah, blah. It was just more about like drinking bags of wine in a VFW hall parking lot and then just getting into some fights with like other people. Like, I mean,
bags of wine.
Yeah, wine bags.
Yeah.
Space bags.
Did punks
space bags.
drink wine bags?
Yeah, space
whatever.
bags.
Cheap
punks
liquor.
and wine in the same sentence. I don't know.
Wine is a very loose description of what that is.
I mean, it's literally like a polyurethane bag with a spigot on the end of it.
Yeah, it's the inside of the box of wine.
Yeah.
Joseph says, Bridges in the chat, hearing what you're saying, you're really not going to like the punks in the dock. They hold zero back.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the decline of Western civilization.
Yeah.
So anyways, the point of all this is like, I just feel like the punks that I know now that are like, there's no room for hate in our scene, versus what the original punks were. I feel like this is true to life because all the people that were put into this movie were people that she had met making the decline of Western civilization.
Right.
She would basically immersed herself into the punk world, and she goes, well, I'm going to make a movie about this. I feel like people should know more about this, and less people are going to want to watch a doc than are going to watch a narrative movie. So let's make this movie. Let's make it true to life. And I don't doubt that that was accurate.
Yeah.
I think that it probably was. And now it's a very different scene. And there's like this revisionist history for like old punks that are like, that's not us, man. We were never like that. We were not one with the Nazis. We were not one with, those type of punks. We're different punks.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you were. Maybe you were the racist dude stomping people out at the club because you had all this negative energy in you and needed to get your wiggles out. And the way you did it was by stomping out other ethnic cultures,
Yeah. So it's
kind of like
I think you are correct in your assessment of like.
But Tyler, your era of punk when you were in that world was early 2000s. This is 1983, so it's referencing stuff from the late 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
That's a pretty rough time. Some pretty bad economic stuff.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like lack of middle class and just very, very strong, like rebelling against the system.
They still had lead in the gas too.
Hell yeah, everyone's just sucking lead.
Yeah.
But so and Joseph, I don't mind seeing all that stuff. Joe Bridges, not Joe.
I'm like, what?
I don't mind seeing that stuff. I actually think it's very interesting. I thought the movie itself was super interesting. Yeah, it's almost like a historical document. But you cannot argue that it's a well-made movie because it's low budget. It feels like a punk movie because it's done on a very DIY feel.
$500,000.
$500,000, which
very punk.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was less than that, even though that's what the accounts say. And the actors are not good.
No, they are not.
The line delivery, that like the two main tall guys, the one skinhead and the one blonde guy.
Oh, Jack and Skinner.
They're just like, every line they say is, hey, man, why don't you just lay off of us?
Yeah, just like...
Call 5-0.
Yeah. Who do you think you are? This is our place, man. I'm not leaving this house for no one.
Hey, open the door.
Yeah. I try to keep this place clean. I put nails all over the walls.
Where's my yellow shirt?
Yeah. Hey, man, you heard me. I said, where's my shirt?
Oh, God, the shirt.
Not the one that I'm wearing right now, the yellow one.
And I can't find my damn shirt.
Yeah. So it's really rough in that regard.
Yeah.
But I still thought it was very interesting. It was very engaging. I'm glad I watched it. I can't imagine I'm going to watch it again. That like low punk, lo-fi vibe of the whole thing was just kind of hard to get through. So it made me feel like, man, I can't wait to watch SLC Punk again. I really wish I was watching that instead.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't think that movie would exist without this.
Yeah.
So
that's what I think too.
Yeah, it's just like
we wouldn't have Wayne's World without this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, true.
or the little wascals.
Black sheep.
Yeah. So so anyways, interesting pick. I'm glad you picked it. I'm glad we watched it, and I can't wait to watch The Decline of Western Civilization.
Yeah, I have heard about that documentary before. I'd never got around to checking it out.
Bruce is in the chat, and he also says it's a key punk doc. Everybody says it's great.
Yeah.
How to punk documentary. A lot of the acting, it reminded me of the Portlandia version of Gutter Punks.
Oh yeah.
We're like, does anybody have a dime?
Yeah.
Does anybody have a dime?
Yeah, I think what I do appreciate about this movie is like it's a short movie. It's only hour 35, and there's not really like a cohesive story. It's just kind of just following these kids who live in an abandoned house.
Underlying story because you got those two guys that were laid off from the factory that are just constantly on their side, and you're like,
did you guys think that they were gay?
What? Who? Wait, the two main guys?
The two
the blonde guy and the skinhead?
No, the guys who were shooting the dogs.
No, what?
The guy
Why
who was
would-
wearing
why
the
would-
Dodgers hat.
Oh,
Why would I think they're gay?
I don't know. I just got that vibe from them that they might diddle around with each other. You didn't get that vibe?
No, I can't say that I did.
I mean, I don't know.
your host, Outrageous Tyler.
I don't know. I just got that vibe that they were gay.
No, I
but
thought
were-
they needed something to do. They were busybodies.
Yeah.
A woman busybody, when you're kind of given that title as a suburbanite, is like, those kids are playing too loud in the street. I'm going to go talk to their parents or call the cops.
Mm-hmm.
A male busybody in the suburbs goes out and kills wild dogs and children. That's why women are better than us.
I mean, look, I actually like this is gonna be a very unpopular opinion amongst the table right now, but I didn't.
Sorry.
Okay.
But I actually did not care. I did not mind them killing those dogs.
Really?
Did you mind them abusing those dogs in real life?
Well, yeah, in real life, yeah. Like if
okay. You're saying story wise.
Story wise, like they were in the right because
a child got mauled by a dog.
Child got
just
mauled
recently.
The police knew, like the city knew that there was a pack of wild dogs running around and hurting people, and they weren't doing any. Animal control wasn't doing anything about it, and so these two guys who got laid off from their probably really cushy factory job,
assembly line work,
and so now they're pissed because this kid gets killed, and they know that their city isn't doing anything, and so they're just like, well, shit, like let's just go and kill them. Like what are they gonna do? And so I can see that. I can see how like that would be like a justifiable thing to do, because
how about trapping them instead of killing them? Like a raccoon trap but a dog trap. They go to the animal shelter, and if they're
then they put them down.
If they're rehabilitatable,
No, they're putting them down.
If they're
There's no way.
if they're able to be rehabbed, then they can find a home, and if they can't, then they get put down.
No, they're.
But they're being judge, judy, and executioner all in once.
Judge, jury, and execution. I thought you said judge, duty.
That's what it did sound like that.
Oh,
They're being Judge Judy and execution.
That's from
because Judge Judy is the jury.
That's from Hot Fuzz.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so in that regard, like I was like, yeah, good for them. Like they're taking care of a mess.
They're pieces of shit themselves.
Well, of course they're pieces of shit. Like that, those guys are detestable. But the reasoning behind of what they were doing, I know it was supposed to be shocking, because no one wants to see a dog die on film. So it's like,
did Bree watch this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I mean, I kind of figured out what you.
And so, I mean, that's kind of what this movie does. It does it not great, but it tries shocking. Like it tries to shock the audience.
Shock value.
So like you have the kid getting mauled. It's not really shocking, and it doesn't even look that.
It's not really shocking.
Wow.
The fucking toddler gets mauled to death by a Doberman within the first 5 minutes of the movie
with red eyes too,
and it's not shocking.
No, that's not shocking. I mean, like. What's shocking is in Hereditary, where Charlie's head gets blown off by a telephone pole.
So you're just, but you can acknowledge the fact that a toddler being mauled to death by a dog is a bad thing.
Oh yes,
it is shocking.
And it is shocking.
I mean, like if it happened in front of me, it would be shocking.
But it's just a movie.
It's just a movie.
Tyler, it's all fake.
So
it's all fake.
It is really.
It's all fake. Yeah, wrestling too.
The idea of a toddler, the idea of a toddler being mauled by a dog, is shocking. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay,
but not in the movie.
But not in the movie.
Not in the movie though.
I'm saying that the way it was executed wasn't shocking.
I thought it was like, I felt like everyone.
It
in
didn't
this
even
movie,
feel like it mattered to the overall plot of the movie. Like why did he push so much for that scene?
I think that maybe he wanted that at the very beginning just to qualify the people that are going to watch the movie, because
gate check.
Yeah, exactly. If this is too much for you, get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
because you're going to have a young child punk on a 3-wheeler get plowed into by a Buick Riviera or whatever.
Yeah. See
I
that
could see that coming from a mile away, unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like, I mean, like, just like if they're gonna kill a toddler in the beginning of the movie, like, what, like, how much farther can you go?
If you're gonna join a hate gang, bring your little brother with you.
Yeah, is it a hate gang?
Kind of.
I mean,
didn't
like,
get that
they say hateful things. They're ignorant.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
But
I didn't get
don't
the
know.
fact that they were like.
I don't think they like subscribe to.
There was
like,
one point in the movie where I actually sympathized with them.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
When they were like, when the stepdad cop sheriff guy comes in,
Mm-hmm.
plain clothes cop comes in, and he's like not arresting them, but he's like not kicking. He's like telling them like, hey, you guys got to stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
yeah.
The one thing that scene themselves, and they're like, we don't have anywhere else to go. Everyone here comes from like abusive households or drug riddled homes or whatever.
He's like, go to college. Like, we couldn't even afford lunch money.
Yeah.
I understand it too. It's the problem is that
I'm just gonna be in foster care. Yeah.
I mean, the real problem is like if you're put on the outskirts of society, you're living in this flop house with a bunch of friends, new friends or whatever, but like when they immediately are going into the neighborhoods, into the suburbs, and just stealing shit from people's garage, and not just that, but also terrorizing people. Like they they're going up to garage sales and be like, "Hey, you got any vibrators, bitch?"
Yeah,
and you're like, "Okay, don't be a dickhead about it. It's like be humble if you're in this,
Excuse me, ma'am. Do you have any vibrators, please?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But they're stealing the stuff from the guy's freezer, and then he comes out and they beat him mercilessly. He's lying in a pool of blood and his piece of hair and stool.
I think
left over what used to be his face.
I think the food stealing is fine. Like, I
stole a loaf of bread.
Like, it's fine. I won't fault. I mean, how are they don't have anyone to buy them food.
Sure.
Although the stepdad is kind of a piece of shit in his own right too, because he's not helping these kids, and he's in a position.
Like, look at Tyler's takeaway is that the one guy's that's being nice to them is the piece of shit in the story. This stepdad, what a loser this guy is.
Well, I mean,
not because he's black.
But
it's because he's a cop.
Yeah.
No, I think that he should have done something. He knew that his stepson and all of his friends were living in that decrepit house, and I'm not saying he should have enabled that group of kids. But like,
what do you do in that situation though? How do you help them? Real world scenario. What do? You have money.
Well,
and
at
means.
least give them food. Like,
for
you don't
what,
you don't
one
give
time?
No, you don't give them money. You just you give them food and give them opportunity. And if
what does that mean? What is it? Give them opportunity?
Like employment.
So hire them at the police station.
Yeah,
these fucking guys. The skinhead.
Maybe help them get another job.
The guy that has no shirt and suspenders the whole movie, until when he's trying to find that yellow shirt.
Yeah. I don't know. I
mean, but honestly, like you give them food and they're good for a couple of days or a week or whatever. Then what? Next week, more food?
Yeah.
What about
they're just kids.
What about their parents?
But that's the whole thing, like where they have like that town meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? They were being pieces of shit, like vandalizing and stealing and all that stuff. Like, yeah, I get that, but I think it's just a little bit more of a complex situation. And I can't remember what the cop's name was, but he like stands up like in the town hall meeting and says,
like, they're not monsters; these are children, yours and mine.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, these are children, like, and I remember like one scene that really sticks out to me is where Evan, the character that was in the beginning who runs away, he was watching on the TV. I think it was like at a Radio Shack or something, and his mom is on the news because like she was drunk driving.
She injured 3 people driving drunk.
Yeah, I thought she killed, but yeah, she injured them.
She got felony drunk driving charges though.
Yeah, and Evan, the kid, was like already so like emotionally detached from like that old lifestyle. He was like, I'm not surprised. Whatever, man.
Yeah, he's like, hey, my mom's got a car like that. Hey, that is my mom.
Yeah.
Typical.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And
yeah,
then
typical.
And then eventually, that's when he goes to get his little brother.
Yeah.
Were they staying with? Was he staying with like a neighbor or something?
Well, see, that's what they don't make clear is like the little brother. Like there was no indication like he was going. Maybe he was like in a foster home or like a relative.
It was like the next day, so he's got to be like in a grandparent's house or next door neighbors or something.
Yeah, but I mean,
in the '80s, it was not uncommon to like stay at a neighbor's house.
Yeah. So I mean, he was getting taken care of. He was getting fed and stuff, which. It's kind of fucked up on Evan's part to take him away from that stable lifestyle because...
Hey, little brother, you want to come live with us fuckos?
You want to come live with us at a trap house?
Yeah.
You want to live in worse conditions.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, is like he is easily manipulated into doing that because all he has to say is, you don't have to go to school anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I don't have to go to school anymore. Like any kid at that age is going to be like, is going to take that opportunity.
Yeah.
Hey, Billy, you ever heard of the phrase abject squalor before? No? All right. Let's go hang out with my friends.
But I think Evan also, he was manipulated by the TR kids, the rejected, which I cringed. I like groaned like because I forgot that that's what their little group was called.
It's 83.
Yeah.
We're the rejected. And I was like, oh.
And they are rejected. A little on the nose, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, like, but that's kind of like a typical thing that you would hear from like a group of teenagers.
We're the
as well.
rejected.
We're the rejected.
Want to know why? Because
why?
We just like the name.
Yeah. Because
it's like the group in the It series, the Losers or the Loser Club.
Loser Club. Yeah.
It's like, God no, Jesus, can you get a little bit more creative?
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't think of a good group name like for us. Like,
For us?
Yeah, we should.
Oh, by the way, you guys want to brand each other after this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
You gotta burn.
You gotta burn. Screw this, man. I'm out of here. And then the kid who
also a little homophobic. The movie too. He goes to see his dad, which is, I mean, I wouldn't want to see my dad naked on the ground with any woman or man in my living room when I go home.
face down on the floor,
just like spooning.
Spread eagle.
Yeah, it's just spooning, and you walk up. That was the funniest thing because he walks home. He goes, "Man, these guys suck," and he like looks in the front window. Dang it, and just walks back. There's my naked ass dad with some dude on the ground. I guess I'll go back to that flop house.
Well, I mean, I was.
Guess I'll go burn myself.
This was one thing I was confused about. Like, did the dad and his partner were they like the owners of that hotel?
I think it's like an apartment, and he was just hanging out at the pool.
Okay,
I think
because the impression that I got was that the dad and his partner like it didn't even look like an apartment to me. It looked like a hotel, like one of those like sleazy hotels.
Sure.
And that he was allowing his son to live in one of the hotel rooms. And because when he's leaving with his suitcase, the dad's like, running away again, huh? Like, yep.
I don't know.
So I don't know. I thought, I mean, this is just, I mean, it's super vague, and I think it's vague on purpose because it doesn't matter. But like, I always like having these little, I liked having these little thoughts like during the movie, like, oh, I wonder if that gay couple like owns that hotel. Like, I wonder what kind of business they're running out there.
I wonder what his wang looks like. That's what I want to know.
I mean, it probably looks
straight, curved. Got a mole on it.
Circumcised, uncircumcised.
I don't know.
Hair up the shaft a little bit.
I mean,
all the way at the base.
Is it like a triangle shape, or is it like
triangle?
Or is it like or it goes like that,
like a yam?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, enough about men's penis.
It's like swollen.
Enough about men's penis.
It's like a syphilis-ridden, maybe.
Also, those two guys that thought they were doing the right thing, when they break into the house, what's their plan? Are they just trying to scare the kids? They find the one girl, they rip her shirt off, and then...
the guys that go threaten them?
Yeah. And you're like, if you really feel like you're the good guy and you break into the house and the first thing you do is rip someone's shirt off, even if it's like on accident, and you realize it's a young nude woman that you're like holding, you would immediately go, oh shit.
You definitely do a 180.
Like, man, we really look like the bad guys right now.
Not them.
Yeah.
Like,
I
we
mean-
gotta commit.
Yeah.
I think it's
Quick, get in the El Camino.
I think it's just a testament to like the frustration of people were having during like the poor economic times that was the early 80s. And so I think that
They're
was
the original NIMBYs. Not in my backyard.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny that actual house that they filmed in was what do they call it?
Condemned.
Eminent.
Eminent or condemned.
No, it was eminent domain. They basically, the city condemned that entire neighborhood so they could tear it down and build a freeway.
Yeah, exactly. And so
The same freeway that they used to film Speed when they jumped over the thing.
Yeah.
Really? Oh. Yeah. Wait, where does this take place?
Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
It takes place in Los Angeles, but they're talking about how they got laid off from GM, which would make it
Michigan.
It's like Detroit.
Yeah.
But it was filmed in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Oh, so was it supposed to be in Detroit?
I think it was supposed to be set in Detroit, but it's filmed in
Yeah.
LA.
They don't specifically say, but like you said, Pia, if they're saying GM, it's got to be Detroit.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I like the I like the kid dying from getting hit by a car.
And you like the kid dying from the dog too.
I like the kid dying.
I like
from
when
the,
kids die.
I you know what? There's something about
Something so satisfying.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I just like kids dying.
The only one of us on this podcast that actually wants children, and you like revel in the fact when there's a child death on screen.
I know, right? I thought the overdose scene was.
Maybe you
really
shouldn't
sad.
have a kid.
Why?
That was sad.
Why? No, hold on. Wait, why?
What we were just talking about.
Because I like kids
I like the
dying
kids
on
dying.
film.
Yeah.
It's like saying when you watch a movie with a dog gets tortured and you think it's great and you're like, I should get a dog. It's just concerning in the same sentence, in the same breath.
Coming from the same person.
Yeah.
I can see how you could confuse.
Like if you were to adopt a kid, they'd be asking these questions, like, "What are your favorite movies?" And you're like,
Suburbia.
"Kids dying."
The opening scene of It, Georgie dies. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Suburbia, kid gets mauled, and then the end. Middle's not so good, but the end when the kid gets hit by the car and dies.
The one with Macaulay Culkin where he dies with the bee sting. That one, I love that scene.
The good son. Yeah, you know, have to make the choice. You kill your own child, or this adopted child is actually better than your own child.
I wish they killed them both though.
Yeah, you just drop them both.
That's a hot take right there.
The person who's interviewing you is rapidly writing rubber stamps on the clipboard.
Decline.
But I really felt bad for the girl who overdosed. And you know what? I don't think they punished the dope dealer enough. Like, yeah, the skinhead kicked Skinner, what they call him. He kicked his ass, but good. But they still let him hang out. It's like, no, I get your ass out of here.
He's they're like, no.
I mean, part of it is like they keep saying get out of here with your dope, but he's there the whole time, so they're complicit in it too,
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, well, if there's a problem with you supplying, I mean, and he was drugging people at the concert in the beginning of the movie too, which is why Evan got
give the first taste is for free.
Yeah, it was just.
But the security guard gets stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
He should not have died from that.
I don't think he died.
I don't think he died.
I don't think he died.
He was laying on the ground.
No, but he was moving.
No, if you remember, when they were doing the investigation, they had all those he was still on the ground, and there was the.
I thought that was the ambulance that was tending to him, paramedics. I mean, he could have died. Who knows?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, everyone was just standing.
I know. Everyone was just standing there
There's the people are very unaware of their surroundings in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot. I think there's a lot to hate in this, but there's also a lot of very interesting things.
I liked
to also hate
Mike be the Flea.
Oh yeah,
Flea is in it.
Yeah,
he plays Rizzle or Razzle.
Razzle.
He plays the Rizzler.
The Rizzler.
one of the outtakes. Somebody in the car calls him Flea, and he goes, "My name's Razzle, man."
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's left in the movie. It's not an outtake.
Yeah, that was fun to see him in there, and
super young. Yeah,
very young, and I mean, it's weird. He is very young.
Flea's in it. Yeah, Flea's in it.
One of the few times I can use that.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting though is he is very young in the movie, but he still looks like the same as he does now.
What are you deep throating a rat for?
Yeah, that was kind of funny. You've never done that with like your cat or something?
I mean, I've had
Fuck
rats.
no.
I've never done that.
I've had
Just shove them up my ass.
You heard it here first.
Like when you have a cat and you like have food in your mouth and you stick your tongue out and the cat eats it off of your tongue.
I used to do. I used to do that with my rat.
Yeah,
I didn't put the rat in my mouth.
And then you go, "Come here."
What the fuck's wrong with you guys?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you never deep throated a cat before? Don't let sit there and hide in your tower.
I used to when I had a rat. I used to eat when I was eating goldfish. I would hold the little goldfish between my teeth, and then the rat would just crawl up my chest and like take it out of my mouth.
Nice.
Why? Why not?
What's wrong with the rat?
No, nothing's wrong with the rat. I've lived with rats before, so
Not the pet
They
kind.
are no one's pet.
well, you're kind of.
So before we give it any grades, I just want to know, Tyler, how formative was this on your decision to join the punk world?
Did it
Well, I was already
before or after?
This was after. This was after.
What made you? What was the allure of the punk world?
Well, I liked the way it
was bored.
Yeah. I liked the way it looked. I liked the idea of being with people who liked the same music that I did and dressed the same way that I would dress.
But what I'm saying is you started dressing like that at some point before you started dressing like that. Why did you start dressing like that?
Because I thought it looked cool.
So you were emulating them, and then you liked the fact that they were dressing the way that you dressed because you dressed like them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
And
a snake eating its tail.
How?
Wait, I'm confused. So you like the way they dress, so you started dressing like that, right?
I started dressing.
I
I started dressing a little bit like it because I was still like I was growing into liking punk music. So like once you start discovering punk music, and then you start seeing
my
like
first vest, gotta get my studded bracelet,
Exactly.
gotta spike my hair up, gotta stop showering.
Yeah, exactly. Like so it cascades. So like my first punk record was Black Flag Damaged.
Black what?
Black Flag
Okay,
Damaged.
there
The and so like once you start like going into that like category of music, you start seeing how people dress and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I want to get this band t-shirt. Oh, I want to get a leather jacket.
So it was the music first.
The music led you to the style, and the style led you to the people.
Right. Yeah.
And the people led you to the racism.
I wouldn't characterize racism with a group of people I almost said worked with, but hung out with. I mean, like we've got into fights with Nazis at punk shows before.
So you were in the early 2000s when the scene had a lot less of that in it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The only reason I ask is that people find different subcultures, subcultures to for various reasons.
I mean,
I went through a minor goth phase when I was a junior high.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Look like the lead singer Static X.
Oh man, I wish I was like Wayne Static. But it was like wore a lot of black, dyed my hair black,
Nice.
Never got to cybergoth.
No, cybergoth was kind of what I was going for. I was like Neo from the Matrix.
Oh,
I was
that's
really
awesome.
hoping for that.
That's awesome.
And I didn't feel like I wanted to join some sort of culture, some sort of subgroup or whatever. I didn't feel like I had that longing, so I didn't stick.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of time with, I've said it before, the Juggalos, it's just like a gang,
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's like you feel like you have nothing to latch onto, so you find this subculture of people that are like, all you got to do is just dress like this, listen to this music, and you're one of us.
Well, I mean, like the kids I was hanging out with, like they came from similar lifestyles, like the kids that are presented in Suburbia, and I was just, I mean, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
I was just gonna ask, did they make fun of you for being a rich kid?
Well, I did not grow up as a rich kid.
That came later.
Yeah. However,
I've talked to Jamie. She had humble beginnings.
Yeah, I mean, so stop talking to my mom. However,
she was hot, dude.
I couldn't relate to I couldn't relate to those people because like they came from like serious like broken homes, and so they used the punk scene as a means to like have support and escape.
Yeah, find a family.
And for myself, it was about finding a community, but not in that way.
You always had that golden parachute.
Right. I knew I was gonna be home and not be like sleeping in a park or anything like that.
Yeah.
So,
you're like an outside observer. You were basically Penelope Spheris in all this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess so. It's
a little bit like Dinner in America. I just wanna point that out.
You should really watch that movie. I think that you would love it.
I'm gonna be severely pissed off. If
off?
next week you don't watch it. You have not watched it.
Shit.
It's on Hulu.
All right. Well, but yeah, so I
I'm gonna dig up a little bit of dirt here in 1 second.
On what? Oh, no.
So
okay.
We
dirt.
Let's see here.
I don't even want to know what this is.
Go ahead and continue talking. I'll find it.
I mean, I don't even know much more to say about Suburbia other than that it wasn't like a pivotal sort of movie for my youth, but I did check it out at like when I was like peak punk Tyler, and
nice.
I was like yeah, punk rock.
Okay, I found it. I said I asked you guys if we could record on Sunday this week. And then I said, hey, Tyler, did you watch your streaming pick this week? This was August 12th, which was...
a Monday.
6 days ago.
Yeah, Monday. And you said, I have an anti-streaming pick. However, I will have more.
That did not happen.
I know it didn't happen.
And
That's
that
why I'm talking
didn't
about
happen.
it. And then I said, oh, you're going to have more, like the second or third act of The Whale? And you never responded.
No.
And then you didn't watch anything else.
Nope.
We're doing this for you. For you, Tyler.
I know. I mean,
you're gonna love Dinner in America.
I believe you guys.
Don't watch Lady Bird again. Watch Dinner in America.
I'm not gonna watch Lady Bird again.
You said you might.
You said you might.
I might. I said I might. I didn't say I will. I said I might.
Okay.
But
The idea that you might though.
Will, do you guys have
abrupt ending? Gotta say.
Yeah. It was immediately
just like credits.
Yeah.
What else there is to say?
I mean, yeah, and I'm glad that it ended that way because there was no character in that movie that you could like latch onto emotionally. So it's just
maybe the punks were the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, the Suburbia really was. It really truly was a Suburbia, right?
Yeah, I think there is for what was presented to us, I think there's a story to be told, but have one character be the focal point, and that's it. Like it probably would be like
SLC Punk.
Yeah. I mean, or like any sort of like mentor mentee sort of movie where like Evan the kid, he's going into this unknown community that's really rough, and he's by all means, like his hands are like clean. And then Jack, the blonde haired guy, kind of like guides him. Like he's like the leader of the TR club or gang, but he takes Evan under his wing. I think there could be a story told there, but I mean,
this is England. Is pretty much what you're describing.
Oh, okay.
Green Street Hooligans is the movie I was thinking about. I just thought of that.
Oh, Green Street Hooligans, yeah.
And that's similar too, except for they're soccer hooligans.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, these are just
Elijah Woods gets pulled into it.
Yeah, this is like kind of like almost like the same age as the little brother, maybe a little bit older. But yeah, he gets like Stephen Graham. Yeah. He's like the leader of this Nazi punk gang. And he takes the main character, who's this little kid, under his wing, and he becomes like radicalized and racist and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, there is a story to be told there, but I think that's why I like the abrupt ending, because it just doesn't. There's nothing to be wrapped up. It's just like,
what else do you need?
It's just like, okay,
yeah, and the cops right there, so they're gonna get caught.
Yeah, I told what
happy.
Yeah,
happy time.
Told what I needed to be said on film, and there you go.
All right.
So let's get some grades on Suburbia. Joseph, what would you grade Suburbia?
It's kind of hard.
That's what she said.
Yeah. I wish. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it necessarily. There were things about it that I kind of appreciated. I like the concert footage because I felt like they just went to or they just set up a punk show with bands and then just filmed it. I'm surprised. It seems like she comes from a music background. Spheris.
She just indoctrinated herself into the culture to make the documentary.
Yeah, I guess so.
So she just was, and all of the stories that were put forth in like the different scenes here were stories that she'd seen or heard of in the punk scene while she was living that lifestyle.
I don't know. Like a C, I guess.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know.
C
for that movie.
Okay.
C,
cool.
never watch again.
All right.
C, never watch again. All right. Pete, what would you grade Suburbia?
This is perverted. This is creepy. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here that made me feel icky watching it. But I felt like it was a good thing to watch. I think it was a good exposure to an interesting point in American history.
X.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how much of it was true, but coming from Spheris and having just made that documentary, I tend to believe her point of view in this and her the way that she's framing this lifestyle,
Right.
So I think that it's a mixed bag. There's some interesting stuff here, and there's also just a really hard to watch DIY nature. Once I get involved, or once I get used to it, though, once I become acclimated to the water, it feels good. I'm watching it, and I felt like I enjoy this world, and I see the point of view of the characters. I could see kind of where the storyline went. I just wish it was just better acted and the production quality was better because it just made it a little bit hard to watch. So I told myself it was more like a documentary that somebody shot with a handy cam, and it was a little bit more enjoyable to me. But the stuff that was hard to watch, the mauling of the kid, the weird sexual assault on the dance floor that nobody does anything about.
Yeah.
It's like you like the kids and then you hate them, and then you like them again, and then you hate them, and then you're like...
I know when they beat up the dad who abuses the one of them, the girl.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, there's some...
They're kind of like heroes in a sense, and then the word gets back that they
did that.
They trashed the funeral home.
Yeah.
And was completely taken out of context.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was interesting. I'm glad I watched it. So, but I give it a C+.
All right.
This is the security guard. Oh, hey, you're here. Oh, you're stabbing me.
It's so true.
Yeah.
He's so dramatic about getting stabbed. He's like, and it was
What
like
a
in his
bitch.
It was like in his it was like in his
back,
hip,
where all the organs are.
No, it was in his hip fat, so
it's like an aside.
When you punch a boxer punches you in that spot, it's a kidney shot. That's where your kidneys are. They live back
the
here.
kidneys are right above your ass. It's like in the middle of your back. He got stabbed in his ass almost.
All right. Come over here. I'll stab you in your ass.
No, thank you.
Be a dramatic baby about it. Oh, I got stabbed in my butt.
That's not a knife.
All right.
But I'm in the same camp with you guys. I'm giving it a C as well. I think this is a movie that I would want my kid to discover on their own. Because that's how I did it. I discovered this movie on my own. No one told me about it. I don't even know how I discovered it. I just did, and I think I'm better for it.
This is one you would just put on when your kid's in the
living
room.
No, I wouldn't put it on. They have to go out and seek it and find it.
It would be on pause in the opening scene, and they walk up. Oh, what's this?
But I think I'm better off
because of it.
Because of it, living at my parents, working a very hard, laborious job that pays nothing.
I know how much you make. You make more than nothing.
You're sitting in a nice, comfy AC, air conditioned U-Haul truck right
Looking
now.
down on all those Amazon drivers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Little punk bitches. How dare they unionize?
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah. Man of the people. Man of the people. Look how far you've come. How many times did Tyler say he was man of the people back then when you're listening to his old episodes, Tyler Joseph?
I don't know. I don't know if I've gotten to that point yet. If he started saying it,
He hasn't.
I haven't started.
Settled into his Damashekisms yet.
Yeah, I haven't started ripping off Damashek.
What's next, Tyler?
Let's get to the Wheel of Destiny.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny.
All right, Suburbia's off the wheel. Tyler, do you have a movie for us?
I do. I have to unwrap my phone in this washcloth.
What?
Tyler's been fiddling with that.
I always have to fiddle with
rag.
everything.
You don't have to.
Yes, I do.
Oh, you just wrapped it for fun?
Yeah, he's
okay.
You haven't noticed he's been folding it?
No.
Over and over again, like a pastry chef. Just fold it in.
I do have a replacement pick that I'm really curious about because I've never heard of this movie up until recently.
Song of the South.
Yeah. How did you know?
Sorry, Birth of an Animation. My bad.
1987's Broadcast News.
Oh, cool.
Directed by James Brooks.
I always wanted to watch this.
Yeah, I just found out about it. Someone who I really respect recommended it, so I was like, well, I'll check it out.
Cool. All right, so Broadcast News is now on the wheel. For new viewers or new listeners, this is the Wheel of Destiny. We have 8 slots, 3 hosts. The other 2, we each get 2 movies, and the other 2 slots are for Patreon members. So I did not get a message from Ryan or listener Chris. So I still don't know what our second Patreon pick is, but that's fine because we got Dallas, who was in the chat.
Grizzly Man.
Big Red Dow. He's got Grizzly Man twice now. The Core from Pete. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Pete. Broadcast News from Tyler. American History X from Tyler. Do the Right Thing from Joseph. And Notting Hill from Joseph. So this is what we're going to watch next week.
Short spin.
It's The Core.
Yes.
Wow.
Freaking yes.
There you, Dallas wanted the Core.
Oh, Dallas called it. Oh, that's great.
It's been a long time since I've seen this movie.
Okay, so I don't know.
It's been a long time.
I don't know anything about this movie, except for it has something to do with the Earth core, hence the name.
Yeah, the Earth's core stops spinning.
Okay, so
Which apparently, I know it was kind of brought up because the article about the core might be spinning backwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this is streaming on Pluto and Paramount through Apple TV, or it's a $4 rental. Geophysicist Dr. Josh Keyes discovers that an unknown force has caused the Earth's inner core to stop rotating. With the planet's magnetic field rapidly deteriorating, our atmosphere literally starts to come apart at the seams with catastrophic consequences. To resolve the crisis, Keyes, along with a team of the world's most gifted scientists, travel into the Earth's core. Their mission? Detonate a device that will reactivate the core.
So it's basically like Sunshine, but going into the Earth.
Sunshine and Armageddon.
Yeah. Aren't they just trying to blow up the asteroid in Armageddon?
Yeah, but they bring us explosive device. In this one, they're going to blow up the center of the core of the Earth
To reignite it.
So this is starring Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah, he's the main.
Hilary Swank.
Is Tucci in it?
Oh my God. Also, Delroy Lindo. Bruce Greenwood. Christopher Shire. Ray Galletti. Anybody else recognizing this?
I could have sworn Tucci was in it.
Tucci? I don't see
I remember there was a bald man in there.
Oh, no, Chris Humphreys. He's bald in this.
Maybe.
Okay. Oh, it is Stanley Tucci.
Oh, cool.
As Zimski. He's way down there.
Zimski.
And then, so this is directed by John Amiel. He directed Copycat.
Annual.
He directed Entrapment and Copycat.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've heard of Copycat, I think.
And then 2002, The Walking Dead.
What?
I don't know.
2002?
2002.
The Walking Dead came out in the
apparently, I don't know. So anyway, so we'll watch this. It should be fun. I've heard it's a shit show. It's goofy and takes itself way too seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched
both
this.
seen it?
Yeah.
I've not been. I saw it in theaters.
You saw it in theaters?
Wonderful.
God damn.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw it. I think.
Oh, that's great.
It used to be on TBS like all the time, and I actually really liked the idea of the core, the plot. So I'm
How
super
they build that
stoked.
drill?
We'll get into it.
All right, cool. So, anything else, fellas?
I think that's it.
Okay, so thank you so much to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That is Javier, Heather, Chris, Michael, and Steven. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or just watch or listen to the YouTube page. That helps too. Thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. It really means a lot. Until next time. Thank you for joining us today as we watch and review Penelope Spheris's Suburbia, not Richard Linklater's. Follow us next week as we review The Core. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail. Why don't you? We'd like to hear from you. 209-730-6010.
Follow us on TikTok, Middle Class Film Class, and at Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
Let's do it up. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.